I'm Alan Colmes, and it's an honor to be asked to host the very last show on WNBC. In our 66-year history, we are going to try to encapsulate some of the great personalities who have been part of the radio station over these last many years. It's impossible to do that in 4 hours. We assembled a very interesting group of people to join us in the studio. Judy DeAngelis, as always, is with us.
Hi.
Have you cried yet today, Judy?
Oh, about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Mostly when I saw you.
We have a very big supply of tissues here in the studio.
Yeah.
Joining me to help with the broadcast is the president of H&H Broadcasting. His name is Mike Harrison. He is the original editor of Radio and Records, the founder of Good Phone Communications, one of the nation's leading syndicators. He is, in fact, the man who coined the term AORR, album-oriented rock, one of the pioneers of progressive rock, and now doing a what I would call a progressive talk format on AM radio. And Mike, it's delightful to have you here with us.
Thank you, Alan. I'm honored to be here.
I want to go right to our telephones and talk to one of the former WNBC personalities. And this is a man who was the first voice I ever heard on WNBC. And I'm thrilled he could be with us today. And you know him from television game shows. His name is Bill Cullen. Hi, Bill.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
Bill, I got to tell you, when I was a kid growing up on Long Island, we had you on every morning. And at that time it was WRCA, is that right?
That's right. That's exactly what I was about to check with you. Exactly right.
Well, you're checking with me. I got to have my facts right today, right?
I wasn't sure. It goes so back. It's back so far now that I think about it, Alan. That it was over almost 30 years ago that I left the local station.
Now,
it was WRCA, but I think we changed to WNBC during my time. Or do you know when it became WNBC?
I think somebody
in the 50s, Bill.
Somebody here probably has the exact date, but it did happen in the 50s. It was only
50s.
It was WRCA for just a few years.
That's right, and before that it was WEAF.
That's right.
I go way back, Alan.
And you worked here at 30 Rockefeller Plaza.
Exactly.
Probably using some of the same equipment we're using here this afternoon.
Well, yes, because I'm using the same stuff that Norman Brokenshire used. And that was like in 1920.
Uh-huh.
Are you at Radio Central on the 5th floor?
No, we used to be on 5. We're on 2 now.
Oh, well, you lost 3 floors.
It makes it easier to jump out the window this way.
And there's more reason to. I'm appalled at the fact that the station's being discontinued or sold or whatever General Electric has done with it.
Well, they've sold the entire radio division, and we should explain to our.
I understand. Isn't that a shame?
We should explain to our listeners that it's a high corporate decision in a room where the air is so thin you get nosebleeds.
Yeah. I just heard Mort Saul talking. He said he has the solution to everything. He said the gang problem, for instance, you sell the gangs to General Electric and they slowly liquidate them.
Very well said, Bill. I'm glad you said it.
I'm glad. I figured I'd say some things.
You can say all the stuff we're thinking.
You know, I had a lot of fun at that place from 1955 to about 61, I guess. God, that goes way back, doesn't it?
Yes, and of course, this was just the beginning of maybe not the beginning, but certainly an important part of a great career for you because you went on to become a television star and do all kinds of stuff that we've seen you do on the tube.
Yeah, we had. Do you know who? One of the producers were. We didn't have a producer in those days per se, but one of the producers was Alan Landsberg, a name you probably know from television.
Sure.
And we had, let me see, do you know the president of ABC is Tony Thermopoulos? Do you know that name?
Sure, from ABC Television.
Exactly. Tony Thermopoulos came there for about 3 months as a summer trainee. Would you believe that?
So he probably got you coffee, right, Bill?
He didn't. Well, that's true. That's true. And I figure if I called him now, he'd answer my calls, but I don't want to take a chance.
What are your present activities?
At the moment, all I'm doing is some syndicated radio for Johnson & Johnson. And I don't want to do anything else, to be perfectly honest with you, Alan. I think I've made my pile, as they say, and I don't enjoy television as much as I used to.
Why is that?
It's not as much fun. Game shows have become, it seems that you get so many, I have to talk carefully because I might want to go back to work sometime.
Well, gee, I could do for you what you did for me if I knew what you really wanted to say.
No, there's a lot of greed today, it seems. A lot of business administration aspirants coming along, and it's no more. They used to play it for fun and to get on the air and have their friends see them, and you give them $1,000 and you made their year, you know.
Yeah.
Now, unless it's $20,000 or $30,000, they look at you like you suckered them into a deal that really didn't turn out as well as they perhaps had hoped.
May I ask you what your memories are of hosting mornings here at WNBC, or any particular moments that stand out in your recollection?
It's one of my favorite times in the past when I look back on my career, to use the word loosely. It's one of my favorite times because it was a stream of consciousness thing, Alan. I'd get up early. My wife would have my coffee for me. I had my same cab driver who picked me up every morning and brought me into the studio there at 30 Rock. And I would just, if I didn't feel up to it, I'd pretty much just give the time and announce what we were going to play. And then sooner or later something would occur and we'd start chatting. People called in. Now, it wasn't, their calls didn't get on the air. They talked to a producer and they called in with a problem or a suggestion or an idea. It was brought in to me, and then we would start talking about that. And that's pretty much what it was. So there was some humor there.
Doesn't seem like radio's changed that much, has it?
No, exactly right. Now the calls get on the air, and I think people just call in to hear themselves, you know?
Maybe we have to believe them a little more these days than we did in the old days.
I think that's a good idea. With our system, we did eventually go to bleep, but that was other local shows.
But you didn't have a delay on your show?
Uh-huh.
You had no delay on your show?
No, we didn't take the phone calls on the air.
So you would relay to the listener what the phone caller was saying?
No, the phone caller would talk to the producer.
Oh, I see.
Say, hey, let's talk about whatever the situation was then that they were unhappy about.
I see.
And they'd give their opinion. The producer would write it down, bring it in to me, and then I'd throw it out, and people would call in with ideas, and we'd have a ball.
Bill, I'm delighted you could be part of this final broadcast because, as I said earlier, you are the first voice I heard on the radio station, and I'm sure there are listeners right now who are fondly remembering those days. Thank you very much.
There are probably some that old. Alan, it's a pleasure. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances. And will everything go as planned, or is it going to be a complete discontinuance?
Well, what we're going to do is we're supposed to throw the switch at 5:30 to MS Broadcasting, and I'm thinking of coming during the radio station and just staying here and not giving it up.
It's not a bad idea. If you need someone to camp on your doorstep, I'll be there.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Alan, my pleasure, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Bill Cullen, one of the original, one of the great voices here on WNBC. Mike Harrison is here of H&H Broadcasting, worked with Radio and Records, Billboard Magazine, a pioneer in radio. Judy DeAngelis, of course, who is always on my flanker microphone. And before we talk to them, which of course I want to do, let's say hello to Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Yeah.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Dr. Brothers. How are you?
Just fine, thank you.
You know, in the last few years, there's been a lot of call-in psychology shows, but you were the original person to do that kind of radio.
Yes, I felt at the time that there was an enormous need for a place where people could go and talk over the things that were worrying them and what was on their mind. Not to have someone tell them what to do, but rather to have someone who is objective, someone who could say to them, look, these are the alternatives facing you, let's explore them so that you can make your own decisions. And I felt that there were so many things in the psychology library that could make life a little easier and simpler for people. And why leave them in the library? Why not do a kind of translation job and put them into everyday language? And so I was the first and foresaw a great need for it, as evidenced by the fact that there are psychologists now in just every place in the country doing just that. And also there is an association of media psychologists.
What was so special about working at WNBC?
It was home to me. I loved the building. It was a great pleasure to look up at the top of the building, and it was also fun to walk in and know you belonged there. Someone said to me, as they saw people standing behind the ropes waiting to get in to see shows and so on, you know that you've arrived in New York when you walk and right into the building and you don't stand behind a rope.
Well,
it's true.
Well, I'm glad you could share just a couple of seconds with us here on WNBC, and this is a historic day and a sad day.
Yes, it's very sad. I miss it. I think it is part of the lore and behavior of New York, and I think it will be sorely missed.
Thank you, Dr. Brothers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dr. Joyce Brothers, one of the voices on WNBC back in the early 1960s, the first person who did psychology call-in radio, although other people have said that they were the first. She was, in fact, the first to do that. Roland Werner, my former producer, who defected to the Today Show, has come in.
I'd like to present something to you.
Yes.
With the help of Leslie Gallo, who works at NBC.
Hi, Leslie.
She helped track down one of these.
Oh, that's
these
terrific.
are for you.
These are the NBC chimes.
And you're going to close the show and you keep these.
I can keep these.
This is for you.
Ooh, this is great.
Yay!
So,
Can we get an advance preview?
Very nice.
All right.
That'll be the last thing you'll hear later this afternoon on 660.
That's right.
What do you like me to do? Hold it up. We're doing this for photographers, ladies and gentlemen. This show, you want to hold this up? This show is not for radio. It's for. Okay.
We're going to get in the shot, too.
Alan, is that the only one?
Yeah, this is not the only one.
It's the only one.
This is the only one?
And it's yours.
Oh, thank you very much.
Sweet?
Well, let's get another shot with Leslie. Come on.
Come on, I got a radio show to do here.
Shot.
Okay. Just talk among yourselves for just a second. Delighted to have with me today Mike Harrison. Mike, for years, has tracked a very impressive radio career as a consultant, as a radio personality years ago on WNEW FM in the days of Roscoe and Richard Neer. You and Richard started there together. He has went out to the West Coast, became the original editor of Radio and Records when Bob Wilson founded the publication, consulted, did commentary for Billboard magazine, a pioneer in progressive rock radio, also founded WLIR's progressive format,
1970.
and coined the phrase album-oriented rock, and has directed his attentions to AM radio.
Yeah, well, AM radio today is where FM radio was in those exciting days, and it's very cyclical. And today, FM is the dominant format in terms of where the money is and the listeners are and the big commercial formats. So the AM stations now have the opportunity to be creative and try something new so they could be dominant again in the future. It's very cyclical.
It's disturbing when people paint this as the end of AM radio.
Oh, hardly. It's the beginning of AM radio. It's the end of an era of AM radio. It's undoubtedly the beginning. The medium exists. The lines of communication exist. The receivers are there. There are new advances in technology happening. And most important, again, because all of the conservatism is now on FM, where there's a lot to lose, there's nothing but opportunity and progressivism and creative efforts and experimentation happening on AM, and this is where the new stuff is going to happen.
What do you think is going to happen to make AM radio as big as it once was?
I think freedom. I think what you're doing here, creativity, spontaneity, people, talk, information, liveness is something that's missing in media all over. It's certainly missing on FM. It's missing on television. Localness and liveness and spontaneity. If something were to happen in the city, if there were to be a disaster or a major breakthrough or a revelation or anything, you couldn't turn to newspapers. It takes too long for that to happen. You couldn't turn to television because they'd have to put their makeup on first before they could cover it. But instantaneously, radio would be there, and AM radio would be there first.
Judy?
I agree. I agree with him 100%.
I love AM radio. This just, you know what it is? It's the breadth and width that we broadcast to.
Absolutely.
It's not just the point of horizon that FM is, because you can blanket a large part of the country with AM radio. But technologically, the FCC has not agreed on one system for AM stereo, which hopefully they'll do.
I would like to ask him, do you think that hurts?
No, I don't even think AM stereo is important. I think the mono nature of AM will prevail. I think there will be AM stereo because the commercials will sound better and you'll hear people talking in the left and right channel. But like newspapers don't have to be in color to still be good journalism.
Sure,
I think
that's
that
true.
Talk will always be a powerful commodity, even more powerful in the future when people need information and need different kinds of information. And the mono aspect, or even the lesser quality of sound of AM radio, I think will lend itself as a perfect medium for talk, which doesn't need stereo or high
fidelity. But
fidelity.
Eventually there's going to be AM stereo. There'll be one system, whether it's Motorola or Con, and there will be a industry standard. So that's going to happen, and there's going to be good quality AM radio.
Certainly won't hurt.
Isn't it nice, though, to hear someone not tolling the death knell?
Death is greatly exaggerated, to quote
That's right.
Mark Twain. We have such a phenomenal show today, and I know it's going to be a very emotional time for lots of people. The entire Western Hemisphere has been here at NBC
Not to mention
today.
listening. I mean, literally,
And
everyone I know
I wanted
is
to devote
listening.
some time to our listeners who want to call up and talk to us at 247-8666. Area code is 212. Talk to Mike, who's going to be with me through the afternoon. Judy DeAngelis, who...
Well, you couldn't get rid of me now if you tried, Alan, so don't even try. I'm here.
I don't know. I think maybe you should spend today in the newsroom. I think we're going to be too busy in the studio.
No, Alan, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We have
today I'm going to be next to you like glue.
Well, you've been saying that about me anyway. You're going to ride my coattails, you said, and you're
Well, I'm certainly going to give it a hell of a try.
I got so many people now to worry about that.
No, don't worry about me. You won't even see me because I'll just be standing right behind you.
My jacket is not fitting properly today because of the tug on the bottom of it. We have an incredible lineup today of former and present NBC radio personalities. Gene Rayburn will be talking to us. Did you know that he worked here? You did know. No, you can't not. It's radio. Ed McMahon, Lee Leonard, Cousin Brucey will be here. We'll talk to Big Wilson. Joe McCoy is now program director of WCBS-FM. Sandy Taylor was for 21 years sidekick to Long John Nebel, who for many years presided over the all-night hours on this radio station. Bob Pittman, who was under his tutelage, this became WN.
That's right.
BC.
That's right.
We'll talk to Larry King, Brad Crandall. Larry King didn't work here, but he is such an influence in radio, and especially AM radio, that I think his oversights and insights will be very interesting. Buffalo Bob Smith did the morning show here.
Yeah. It just seems like everybody who was anybody
because
passed through these portals at one time or another.
Well, there's a turnstile out front. So
did he do it with Howdy Doody, or was it
no,
before
this is before
Howdy
Doody?
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was he's in this building. He then started doing the Howdy Doody show.
Yeah.
My agent Manny Gelt has shown up today.
It's a black day at Black Rock.
A black day at Black Rock.
30 Rock.
This is 30 Rock, Manny.
Right.
He's out of work
I want to
again.
thank you for engineering this career move for me.
You're out of work again. Can't you hold a job?
You
come to a station, the whole place falls apart.
You're engineering my career.
400 people out of work because you stink.
Thank you very much. It's the man in charge of my career.
What a career it is.
Thank you. Largely thanks to you.
You're the only person I work for. I have to work a half an hour a day, and I'm overworked.
Thank you very much. Al Rosenberg has just walked. There's so much hugging going on here. People are...
That's male bonding, Alan.
But of course, you and Roland have done that privately. But listen...
it's a beautiful thing.
Let me say hello to Al Rosenberg here for just a moment.
No, I don't want to take your agent's place. Obviously, he's...
Please,
I wish you would, actually.
Believe me, he's much more important to you now than I am. So.
But you'll be staying on. You'll be working with...
I touched your garbage can.
Yep. Ugh. No, that's Imus's Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be working with Imus in the morning.
I will be?
I believe you. You'll still be working on his show, right?
That's for the duration, yes.
For the duration of what?
For the duration. No, I will be. Yeah, sure.
For the duration of what? The sports format?
For as long as there's sports. As long as there's sports,
Begging for scraps.
as long as there's scraps, Alan, will be a place for guys like me.
This is Mike Harrison, who is with H&H Broadcasting and who is one of the pioneers
Horn
of...
and Hard Arts, one of my favorites. I love your rice pudding.
My pleasure. How you doing?
Let's take a few folks.
The pot of baked beans they make, which is really good.
WNBC, hello.
Yes, hi, Alan.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Good luck to you and whatever you decide to do. I've been listening to you on a number of different formats. I think you're great. But what I wanted to say was, like you, I also grew up with the radio in my hand, and I remember one of my friend's fathers once saying to me that I should be going around with a baseball glove in my hand and not a radio.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, that was back in 1963, 64, Conversation Station, WNBC.
That's right, the Conversation Station. That's when Joyce Brothers was on it, and we'll talk to some of the other personalities from that era later on today.
When you speak to Big Wilson, though, ask him if he remembers Gwen, the receptionist. She's out in California now.
Gwen, the receptionist. I believe she and Biggie are living together now.
Yes.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I'll give you her phone number.
Okay.
And Mr. Policeman, let's not forget him, along with Gwen.
Thank you very much.
Fireman.
It's nice to see your sensitivity has permeated the studio,
This
Al.
is the way I respond to everything. You know
Thank you
that,
so much. I went up to Imus this morning after a show, and I said, Don, I want to tell you it's been a thrill meeting you. I think you're a legend in broadcasting, and I just want to tell you that meeting you, working with you, and knowing you has been a very important part of my career. He said, let's not get emotional, kid.
he had a tear in his eye when he said it, though.
Yeah.
His feeling is summed up by his phone number in the back of the yearbook. 1-800-GET-LOST.
2 o'clock at WNBC.
This is news from 66 WNBC, New York.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judy DeAngelis. Here's what's happening at 2 o'clock. Well, for those of us at WNBC, it is the beginning of the end because at 5:30 today, WNBC, a station that has graced the airwaves for 66 years, will sign off for the last time. It will become 66 WFAN, an all-sports format. You know, many famous and infamous folks have passed through the WNBC portals, and while they will be missed, they most certainly will not be forgotten. And to some other radio news now. The Gipper heading to Detroit today in an effort to help win another one for the GOP. Michigan is rated a toss-up in the Bush-Dukakis presidential race, and President Reagan is expected to hammer away on the themes of peace and prosperity in a bid to lure so-called Reagan Democrats to vote for George Bush. The debate over Connecticut's new AIDS advertising campaign is continuing among religious leaders. The state's Episcopal bishop and 8 other leaders of Protestant denominations say they support the campaign, but the Roman Catholic Archbishop says he does not. Also in Connecticut, a judge has denied a rape victim's request to have her assailant tested for AIDS. Judge Richard Damiani ruled that AIDS is not a venereal disease and therefore does not fall under a 19-year-old state law that requires testing of alleged rapists. And that may not jive with the latest information concerning AIDS. Dr. Harry Havercoast, the chief of clinical medicine at the National Institute on Drug Abuse in Bethesda, Maryland, says heterosexual AIDS is spreading in proportion to the population.
What we we have shown is that the number of cases and the increase in the number of cases among heterosexuals is comparable to the increase we're seeing among gay men, intravenous drug users, etc.
Dr. Haverko says more needs to be done to alert the heterosexual population to the danger of AIDS. More trouble for Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson, who had his gold medal stripped at the Seoul Olympics after failing a drug test. Toronto police spokesman John Gray says Johnson allegedly threatened a motorist with a starter's pistol.
We were given a license plate number which led us to the address of Mr. Johnson. He was spoken with briefly, and a small starter's pistol was seized from his Porsche.
Johnson has denied the accusation. WNBC News Time, 2:03.
Things are getting a little tight here at Grassi Cadillac and Oldsmobile. We have too many 88 Oldsmobiles and Cadillacs, and the 89s are pouring in. So if we don't move a lot of cars in a hurry, we won't have the room to breathe. That's why Grassi is offering the most dramatic discounts in their 16-year history. Right now, you can breathe a whole lot easier at Grassi, with savings up to $4,000 on leftover 88 Oldsmobiles and up to $5,000 on leftover 88 Cadillacs. So if things have been a little tight for you, hurry to Grassi, the largest Cadillac and Oldsmobile dealer from Fairfield County to Manhattan. You'll breathe easier with our most dramatic discounts of the year on every remaining 1988 model, plus special introductory savings on every new 1989 model now on display. Remember, for the lowest bottom line price, there's only one man to see. Grassi Cadillac and Oldsmobile in Greenwich, 53 West Putnam Avenue, off exit 3 on the Connecticut Turnpike.
At 2:03 WNBC and the New Jersey Governor's Task Force on Child Abuse and Neglect want you to know you can do something about child abuse. For help or information, call 1-800-THE-KIDS. Here are the latest tri-state area conditions from the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network. Bronx-bound Whitestone Bridge, extra slow across the span. It's due to repaving. One lane there is closed. Holland, Lincoln Tunnels, GWB, minor delays each way. WNBC Sports, Game 3 of the National League Championship Series. The Mets hosting the Dodgers tonight. It's tied up one game each. On the mound, Ron Darling facing John Tudor. Oakland A's up 2-0 over the Boston Red Sox. Play resumes tomorrow night in Oakland. WNBC weather, mostly cloudy and cool this afternoon. The highs about 55. Cloudy, quite cool tonight. The low 40 to 45. Mostly cloudy and chilly tomorrow with a 40% chance of light rain or drizzle. The high 50 to 55. And on Sunday, partly cloudy and cool. Currently, it is 53 degrees. And that's what's happening. I'm Judy DeAngelis, WNBC News.
WNBC remembers 66 years of New York's most memorable radio.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
During our 66-year history, WNBC has brought America the sounds of the Great Depression and the battles of World War II, the boom of the 50s and the Reagan Revolution of the 80s. No doubt the decade filled with the most poignant memories for most of us were the 10 turbulent years of the 60s.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
One day right now in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream.
Something has happened in the motorcade route. Something, I repeat, has happened in the motorcade route. We understand there has been a shooting. The presidential car coming up now. We know it's the presidential car. You see Mrs. Kennedy's big suit. There's a Secret Service.
Malcolm Kilduff has just announced that President Kennedy died at approximately 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is about 35
And I will
minutes.
not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president.
I smoke marijuana. I use LSD.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was shot outside a Memphis motel.
Small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
WNBC went to the moon and the Vietnam War, to Liverpool and to Watts. We brought you Rock and Dr. Spock. And the 60s were only one memorable page in our 66-year entry into the history books of broadcasting.
WNBC 66 WNBC.
Just struck me that this is the last day that any radio show will come from 30 Rockefeller Plaza. And to a lot of people, 30 Rockefeller Plaza signifies radio.
Right.
After all, this is called Radio City. Are they going to change the name of the music hall now? Right. I'm Alan Colmes. I'm honored.
Toaster City, it'll be called.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, of course, the GE way.
Yes. Microwave City. Microwave City.
Al Rosenberg, of course, is in character.
I'm going to miss you.
Oh, come on. I can't you're not going to get sincere in me.
I'm going to
now,
miss
are
you. No, you're a very nice guy, and you've been a pleasure to work with, and you're very funny, and you're very intelligent. You're a commie, but I really have a lot of affection for you.
Turn the page off.
And
that's very nice.
Page 2.
And it's very hard for you to be this sincere, isn't it?
It's I mean, there's more to me than just racial slurs and cheap tawdry sexual laughs.
Shame you leave that other stuff at home when you come to work in the
my
morning.
wife. But say, hey, guys, PIX, say hello to Paul Bissonnette for me. He's over there. PIX is a friend.
We
of
have
mine.
a channel. We've had Channel 11 is here now. Also with us is Mike Harrison. Mike is a pioneer in radio. He at a very young age created the album-oriented rock format. Created WLIR in Long Island. He was morning man at WFAN here in New York for a while. Went out to the West Coast, had success in San Diego. Then was the original editor of Radio and Records. Went out to Billboard magazine, KMET in Los Angeles. Good Phone Communications, a major syndicator, and now is president of H&H Broadcasting in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Did you read his resume? I mean,
no, was I reading that?
That was very impressive. That's very impressive.
Do you have a resume like that?
No. Are you kidding? I could write mine in crayon.
What do you? I know you grew up in the New York area. You worked at another station in New York, but certainly you listened to WNBC over the years.
WNBC always represented the place where they had the tour, and all the announcers wore suits, and you'd stand on line, and then you'd wait, and you'd go upstairs for $1 or whatever it was, and you'd watch Big Wilson, who you're going to be talking to later on the radio. It was very exciting. It was always considered the big time, real big station.
Big time radio. This is it?
Yes.
Then you get there and you say, this is big time?
It's all downhill
I'll never
from
forget
here.
when I was a little boy taking the NBC tour, and I used to beg my mother to take it every time we came into the city. And 3 or 4 times when I took that tour, the man on the other side of the glass up on the 5th floor was Lee Leonard. And I fantasized that someday I could be the person on the other side of the glass. And Lee Leonard is with us right now. And Lee, I can't...
only made it to the 2nd floor.
Yeah, right. Lee, thank you for putting me in my place and putting things in perspective here this afternoon.
It's a sad day.
It is a very sad day.
I'm not going to buy their light bulbs. I'm going to go with Westinghouse.
We've changed to Sylvania in the office. Now, you were part of the conversation station back when this did what was then state-of-the-art talk in New York City.
I have a feeling that WNBC then was probably the first real conversation station. There had been a lot of talk on the radio, but I think we were the first ones then to really, for 24 hours, open up the phones, talk to people, have guests in the studio constantly, and really do it. And at that time, I thought it worked, and we did pretty well with it. And it was a great gang of guys that had been assembled, and 2 women, all told, but mostly guys. Times have changed.
Well, we talked to Joyce Brothers earlier, who was one of the women involved with the format. What are some of the things that you did on the air that you still think fondly about?
Oh, gee, I remember I had a thing going about the fact that there was a woman called me one day, and I used to ask people where they were from if they didn't sound New Yorkie, and she said North Dakota, and I hung up on her. And I thought to myself aloud, why does she lie to me? There is no such place. Well, naturally, she called back, quite chagrined. And I did this whole routine about there was no North Dakota, which lasted for quite some time. And The Tonight Show was still being done in New York then, and the producer of it heard my carrying on. And I did The Tonight Show as a guest and did my whole routine about no North Dakota. And we got barrels full of mail from North Dakota. Everybody offering a proof that they did exist, or wrote a sign, a telephone book cover, something like that.
Now that you mention it, I remember that.
Yeah. And the Phantom Fifth Avenue bus was another thing that was a lot of fun.
Tell us about that.
That left every Saturday night at midnight from in front of the Plaza Hotel, only in our imaginations. and the guest list to entertain on the upper deck of the bus would be Laurel and Hardy, or it had to be somebody dead that we all loved.
Do you think radio has changed significantly since those days in the mid-'60s?
Yes, a lot. In many cases, for the worse, unfortunately. I think a lot of the... I'm not a fan of what is now known, I guess, as attack radio. I think a lot of people are confusing decibels with IQ.
Yeah, well, you were a very gentle, kind, and intelligent talk show host. You don't find too many of them on the air these days.
Still some around.
Well,
I'm talking to one.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. And I can't tell you how much that means to me on this very special day. And you must be, I don't know, I wonder if somebody who worked here as long ago as you did is teary-eyed about the departure of this radio empire.
I am, for more reasons than that I worked there. I grew up listening to WEAF.
Really?
My early ambition in life, I didn't want to be Jack Benny. I wanted to be Don Wilson. I didn't want to be Burns and Allen. I wanted to be Harry Von Zell. I wanted to be a radio announcer because those guys always wore tuxedos and had those great voices and laughs. And it seemed to me to be kind of a gentleman's line of work. I never saw a radio announcer perspire. And that was my ambition, to be on the radio. And then after struggling for 8 or 10 years out in the boondocks, to walk into that lobby with all those great Art Deco murals in the elevators and be at NBC. Wow.
Yeah, there's something about Astoria that doesn't measure up to that, huh?
Not quite the same thing.
Lee, thank you very much for sharing a few moments with us. And again, and I talked to you earlier, you are a major influence to me, and I'm so glad to have talked to you on the air this afternoon.
Alan, I really appreciate that, and I hope you great good fortune in wherever it is that you wind up. I'm sure it'll be someplace and soon. And as the afternoon goes by, if I can take just one more moment, say hello to Big Wilson if you get him on the phone.
We will,
and,
yes.
To Bill Mazur, who is, I am really Bill Mazur's son. I have the fleur-de-lis toupee on my buttocks, and I can prove it.
The fleur-de-lis toupee.
And Brad Crandall, and we can all say hello to the late John Neville and the late Nene Dunzel.
Well, Sandy Teller, who
a
was...
wonderful group of people, and it was, I guess, one of the highlights of over 35 years in broadcasting for me working there.
Well, Lee, thank you for all your comments today, and thank you very much for all you've contributed to this great radio station.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lee Leonard. Lee Leonard, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. One of the great voices on WNBC. Al, thank you very much for stopping by and say hello today.
I got to go try to grab Carol Petrovich before the day is over.
This is your last chance, right?
My last chance to get my hands on those. She's wearing leather pants today, and it's about all I can handle.
If you don't know Al Rosenberg, he's a feeler. He's a toucher. You'll go for a cheap hug anytime you can.
If you will. A hugger.
Yeah. But you don't take it beyond that, do you, Al?
No.
Then how do you explain these things?
Oh, my God, you got those?
Al, I've really enjoyed working with you.
Well, I have, too.
I'm not going to hug you, too. Should we tell them?
No.
No?
Don't make the announcement today.
Who you are? Who you've been?
Who I've
Some of the shams we pulled? No?
We may do it again sometime.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're aces.
Al Rosenberg.
Thank you. No, you're too kind. Please, you're too kind. Thank you.
Well, you're right. Al Rosenberg.
Voted the funniest man in the WNBC yearbook.
Yeah, I hope Imus doesn't see that.
Oh, no. What would Imus be without you, Al? There you go.
Al's not answering.
How are you? Al Angeloro has just walked in. Al,
Judy.
You've met Miss DeAngelis. This is Mike Harrison, who is a radio commentator, analyst, owner, broadcaster.
My pleasure.
You have hosted a show on Sunday nights here for quite a long time.
Well, the talk show was 6 years, and then prior to that, they let me mess around with the consumer thing for 2. So it's been I've never lasted this long in anything.
And you also do some work at BAI.
Yeah, and I've been lucky enough. I've been covering over at MCA. If
Let's
I can
mention
say
every other radio station in the market, shall we?
Yeah, I just have to. I had to be here just to be part of this, festive occasion. It's not festive, but it's historic, that's for sure.
And it's good to know there are other liberals on the media. You know what I'm saying? You make me look like a fascist.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say that it's been 6 solid good years here. I mean, I won't say I haven't had problems with management. That's perfectly legitimate. But I also want to state for the record that if ever I have ever seen anyone has ever tried to censor me, it's never been here, that's for sure. People get this peculiar idea that if you're working in this kind of media where money prevails, there'd be that kind of a mentality. It works other ways, but no one has ever told me not to do something. And I want to applaud this place as it goes off the air for that.
Let me say something about that. I think if there's one thread through the many formats that has run through WNBC, it's been a sensitivity toward talent. And that great superstars their careers have been born here in a sense. Certainly Don Imus, who created a certain kind of radio.
Yeah.
And there's always been, through its many incarnations, a sensitivity toward radio talent. And that's why it's always been my dream to be here. And I'm glad I get in just under the wire.
Yeah, let me say that, too. This was a place my father took me. My father's memory with my dad was coming here as a kid. And it was Radio City. There wasn't much television in those days.
Yeah.
So I remember this place from a long time ago. And the pages were beautiful, the females. I
That
remember
hasn't
too.
changed.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed.
That stayed too.
Al, thank you for stopping by today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Al Angeloro. What are you doing Sunday nights from now on?
Oh, man, I don't know. There are so many stories.
Campaign for George Bush.
So many stories. Are you aware that the mayor is saying that the Colombian drug cartel wants him out of office? And I would have assumed that's the one guy they'd want in office. That would have been my lead story Saturday night.
All right, Al, thank you very much. Because I'll be...
Can I hit the chimes just once, please?
Well, okay.
Please,
He was like, sure. These are given to me as a gift by Roland, my former producer.
You get this, right?
Yeah. Beautiful. You know,
Very nice.
We told Emmis this would be the last thing they'd hear, so I hope they don't take it early.
Sorry about that.
We're going to... Thank you very much. We're going to take a break and come back. I'd like to take some phone calls. We're going to take as many listener phone calls as we can. If you want to talk about radio with Mike Harrison, if you want to talk with Judy or me, I wish we had time to take calls for each of the phone guests and in-studio guests we're going to have today. I don't know if it'll be possible. Big Wilson will be talking to us, Joe McCoy. We hope we'll get Larry King. Will be at an airport, Buffalo Bob Smith, Bob Fitzsimmons, Wolfman Jack, Bob Pittman. And that's the tip of the iceberg. 218 at WNBC.
WNBC. Bill Whizzer, Sears Auto Center mechanic.
Now's the season. People realize their old batteries won't make it through another winter. I replace them with America's #1 replacement choice, Die Hard.
Right now, while quantities last, get set for winter with a Die Hard Special Edition battery. A special purchase, just $54.88 with trade-in. We've never offered a Die Hard with this much power at this low price.
When I install Die Hard Confidence, there's no charge for the installation.
He is out at the plate. Tommy Lasorda doesn't like the call. I'm sure he's got a few choice words for the ump.
Spicy lunch at Pete's Chili Hut? That's the last time you'll pick the restaurant.
Lasorda, I'm sick of your belly aching.
I'm sick of my heartburn. I come out to borrow a Rolaids.
Get relief. You know how to spell it. Rolaids.
You didn't even finish your chili.
Sometimes my eyes are bigger than my stomach.
Nobody's eyes are that big.
You're out of here.
Not before I get that Rolaids.
Rolaids antacid. Use only as directed.
The Black & Decker Dustbuster Cordless Vac is the perfect gift. Nobody knows that better than the Winklers.
That's absolutely true. When my husband gave me a dustbuster for my birthday, I almost clobbered him. I said no flowers, no fragrance, no fur coat. Then I started using the dustbuster. It's not only powerful, but much more convenient than my big vac for quick, easy pickups. I thank my husband every day.
Give the Dustbuster, now with a 30-day money-back guarantee. See details on package.
Very clever, Black & Decker.
Hi, I'm Dick Cavett. If you know your PC from your WP and your DP, then Norel Temporary Services needs you for their NPDP. That's Norel's Pro Development Program. You're going to get $3,000 worth of advanced training, which will make you a Norel Pro. That means you'll get top assignments, make embarrassingly large sums of money, and have the entire world begging for your autograph. But only if you call Norel Temporary Services right now. So what are you waiting for? Here's a quarter.
Wake up! Yeah. New York, New Jersey, Westchester, and Long Island. Amazing savings on America's #1 selling mattress, the Silly Posturepedic. You know, there's a place called Dial a Mattress. You call them up, wherever you are. Let's say you get lucky in a bar one night. You call them up, and they deliver a mattress within 2 hours. They've slashed their prices on an incredible selection of Sealy bedding. You can save up to 60% off department store regular prices. And Dial a Mattress is one of the largest selections of Sealy mattresses and box springs in New York and New Jersey, and they specialize in service. Call them anytime, Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Place your order. Within 2 hours, you'll have a Sealy delivered to your home. Pay the driver after you've approved the mattress, and if for any reason you're not satisfied, the driver will take the mattress back. And for a limited time, when you buy any Sealy, when I say limited time, believe me on this one. When you buy any Sealy Posturepedic set, just mention WNBC. And you'll get a luxurious set of Canon sheets and pillowcases, a $60 value, absolutely free. Your new Sealy bedding is just a phone call away, so for superior service and extraordinary savings on Super Sealy bedding, from the 212, 201, or 516 area, just dial MATTRES, leave the last S off, for savings. Are you set to go? Traffic?
For what?
Traffic.
No, sweetie, it's only 2:20. I'm sorry.
Oh, I forgot.
You gotta wait. You're doing a little different time shift today.
I really do have Lee Leonard's time slot now.
Yeah.
I'm Alan Colmes. We're on WNBC, and I want to get call letters WNBC in as often as I can this afternoon.
That's right.
I'm delighted to have with me one of the true great minds of radios. He's a radio scientist, Mike Harrison. Judy DeAngelis, as always, is here. Bruce Leonard is here engineering the show today.
Now,
quite frankly,
I got to tell you, this brings me back, Alan, because I've worked with Bruce for 6-7 years now. At least.
Now that my greatest regret, well, not my greatest, but one of my regrets is that Bruce has not been here every day with me in the afternoon.
That's right.
Because it's very tough. And now he's Ray Dariano's demanding a drink already. I really
got it. And sitting across from Ray, Alan, I got to tell you, this brings me back with Bruce here and sitting across from Ray.
Aren't you nice? You know.
Bruce, you remember the day I threw the cereal box at your head and just missed you? Sorry about that, pal. Mike Harrison, I haven't seen in 10 years. And before that, 10 years before that, I used to wake up every morning. He played the New York Rock and Roll Ensemble.
That's right. Pick up in the morning. You remember that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. One of the greatest. He's a big shot expert, but he's one of the greatest morning men on progressive
That's right.
rock radio.
Well, he was one of the pioneers. He created the term AOR.
Wow. Absolutely.
I've enjoyed you too, Ray. Thank you.
Ray has been my colleague here at WNBC since he stabbed Soupy in the back, and I'm delighted that.
Poor Ray.
We invited. Let's be honest for one day. That's not true at all. You really are a great guy, and I'm really glad that we work with each other.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have met you and been part of working with you.
Well, thank you, Alan. What can I say? I was just in the hall, and a woman from CNN is there, and she wanted to interview me. I said, "You don't want to interview me?" She said, "I do." Well, what are you going to ask me? She said, "I want to ask you about the future of AM radio." I said, "Boy, do you have the wrong guy."
Why, you don't believe in AM radio?
Here. I think AM radio is good if you need an occasional score or something like that. I mean, let's face it, we've about worn out the lemon pipers, haven't we, gang? You know.
So, Ray,
Cousin Brucey is on FM.
As I said, it's great working with you, a dedicated professional. And
let me tell you something. To play the lemon pipers all those times, you have to be a dedicated professional.
Yeah.
Now, what did Mike say? I didn't miss the beginning. What did you say about AM? Of course, a talk show, as you're doing, would be a nice.
Well, see, my feeling is that AM.
I didn't mean to slight you in any way.
Well, but it wouldn't be the first time. My feeling is
that. Oh, but that was that goofy shtick that we did.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to do that.
Because Ray said to me, "Let's have a feud."
I did.
So.
And then Alan said to me, "But who'll hear it?" So it didn't work out.
Why don't we just put me in bad standing with everybody in the business here today?
No,
okay,
a talk show such as you do is wonderful on AM. I mean, you don't need stereo sound to do a talk show.
I don't need an engineer, apparently, either. I don't need lots of things.
And the thing is, we know, because you know about the dream. I told you about this publicly a while ago.
Ray had a dream.
And I had a dream.
What are you, Martin Luther King all of a sudden?
And Alan will have, and Rory, his manager, sitting here, be happy to know this. Alan will have a television talk show within... Well, sometime in the year, it'll start sometime in the year 1989.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
You mean Manny, my agent.
Oh, is he here too?
Yeah.
Hey, sweetheart, you're looking very nice. Nice horn-rimmed glasses, by the way.
Thank you, Manny. It's very nice to see you.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful guy. So anyway, you're going to be done with this AM thing too.
No, I don't know if I'll be done with AM. See, I happen to believe that...
Alan, unless you're going to say the Mets won last night, what is there left to say?
There are other stations, Ray. There are other radio stations.
Well,
Not
okay.
open to you, sweetheart.
Let me say
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, it's your manager.
You know, even at the end,
I wish you the best, Alan, but you're too good for this.
He's so good he should get out of the business. I don't think he has a choice at this point.
Read the writing on the wall. TV, pal.
Thank you very much.
Cable is the new thing. Cable television.
I think cable radio.
Well, perhaps, but cable television is what FM radio was to AM years ago. This is for you, pal.
I'm going carrier current.
Come on. I mean, if
carry a pigeon.
No, well, whatever you do, I wish you the best of luck, and I know you will be very successful. And this was just one of those little steps on the ladder.
See, my feeling is that AM radio, once the FCC regulates... See, Reagan wanted to get the government off the backs of the people. He said that means deregulation of the FCC. Mm-hmm. But where the FCC should regulate certain technological things, he doesn't want them to do that. He wants to regulate what's in your urine, but not regulate things like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but when Dukakis is president, that's going to be a different thing. So I think once the FCC decides on a system for AM stereo and we have compatible sound on AM and FM, that'll again change the face of the radio business
and
in AM radio.
Still be out of work.
Shut up, Mr. 10% over here, ladies and gentlemen. So
you're
Ray,
going to do fine. You're
thank you
do
very
just
much.
Fine, and good luck to you, and God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
God
Ray
bless you.
Dariano, ladies and gentlemen.
Bravo!
All right, what do we do now? This is going to be the loosest show in the history of radio. This is.
That's okay. What the hell? It's the last show. What are you going to do?
I can pretty much do anything I want.
You got
What
it,
are they going
Dave.
to fire me?
Well, I think that's already happened.
Well, it's not really. It's not. You know, it's not really like being fired. I've been fired.
Yeah. No, this is more or less having the rug pulled out of your from under your feet.
What's your problem?
I want to say
You can't put on both our mics at the same time, is that it?
Yes, of course. Am I on?
Now we can. Oh, okay.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
I've been working with you for too long.
Yeah, right.
But I have to make a couple of observations. Who can forget wonderful interviews with Jessica Hahn, Mel Torme, never getting Al Sharpton?
We got him by phone for 10 seconds.
You're a talented guy, and I can sit here and very confidently say that when it comes to selling shoes, you will be the best person in the business.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So,
moving along.
Here we are. We're going to be talking in a few minutes with Ed McMahon, who hosted Fortune Phone here at WNBC.
You know, he may have a place for you on Star Search.
Yeah, I want to be in the spokesperson radio competition.
And you can be sure if he went on, the search would continue.
The spokes radio competition.
That's right.
That's what I'm going to be doing. We have 2 minutes. Yeah. So this is it, you know, and I really, again, have to decry those people who say this is it for AM radio.
Let me
Because
throw a point out about what Ray said. Ray, you said cable television will replace what AM radio is doing, but that's not going to happen because the production costs of television are so far above the production costs of radio that television can never live up to that expectation. Just because the channels are there doesn't mean that they'll be able to produce all those programs, whereas radio is relatively inexpensive. It's all theater of the mind. Just need a microphone, a
yeah, look at the money
transmitter.
they put into your show.
You know?
There you go. Well, there, you know, as usual, as usual, I'm wrong again.
That's why he's a radio analyst and you're the...
Out of work.
No, it's a very economic factor that really plays a role in it. You know that.
You know what I think? Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Go
please.
ahead, Judy.
No, you know, you've been talking to your listeners.
Yeah.
For so long, I think you should at least just take one.
I
phone
was just
call.
thinking that we should. These phones.
You know,
are,
because the phones have just been going nuts today. and I
Judy,
think-
let's give out our home number so people can phone us. WNBC.
A, Bob Grant. B, Bernie Meltzer. C, Pete Franklin.
The answer is still D, Morton Downey Jr.
And E, Judith Christ. And F, I love you.
Thank you very much. See, now we do a thing on the show, and I don't know how to explain this to people, called radio graffiti. And what's happened yesterday is the people who call up and they create their own alter egos, and kind of people do their own shtick. It's the canvas of the airwaves.
Yeah.
And people call up with human chalk, and they do all kinds of things, and they have created these little bits for themselves, and they have revealed to us
who they
are. And I've been shocked by some of the multiple personalities. I think every listener is Sybil to this radio station. I've been shocked by who some of these people are. So I'm just amazed. That guy calls up, and it's like the Spy magazine list. It's a group of people. You have to figure out what they have in common. WNBC. All right, 229. Are we cutting or dumping?
That one I dumped.
Okay. If we can cut, it'll be better so we can move along. Just a little technical talk, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk to Joe McCord today. Cousin Brucey will be here momentarily. Big Wilson will talk to us on the phone. Brad Crandall. Do you remember the old phone number when this was the conversation station?
No.
Circle 61212.
No, that was the main number. Plaza 7. Harry Tucker knew it. Plaza 7. And Peter knew it. Peter Shane, my inspiration in radio. Plaza 7, 8866. Peter, you've had a long radio career on the air. You are one of the major voices here at WNBC.
We all know that.
Yeah. Peter, actually one of the time machine people. And it's very hard in 4 hours to encompass every format that we're doing now. No, to encompass every format that this station has been for 66 years. So if you have a favorite WNBC radio personality or somebody you feel should be a part of this and they are not heard this afternoon, it is not a slight in any manner. It is not an effort on our part not to include them. It is simply picking and culling from what we had available to us, from those people who were available this afternoon, and trying to jam everything into a short 4-hour period. WNBC.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Who's this, Alan?
Yes, sir.
This is Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Well, I was listening to that NBC tribute.
Yes, the one Dale Parsons produced.
Right.
Yeah.
You forgot one thing about Jane Dornacker.
Well, I'm glad
give tribute to her.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned. Ray did a tribute to her this morning. Ray did a tribute to Jane this morning. Glad you mentioned Jane. Jane Dornacker was a little bit before my time. She was part of a tragic helicopter crash. She was our traffic reporter and lost her life and while on duty here at WNBC. I never met her, but I understand from everybody who knew her, she was dearly loved.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
We did a yearly softball game in Wayne, New Jersey, where we paid tribute to her and raised money for Jane Durnacker Fund. And they named a street there after her.
Oh.
So I'm delighted you mentioned her and glad we can pay some tribute to her this afternoon. WNBC.
You're going off today, and all I can say really is it couldn't happen to a bigger bunch of skunks. You stink.
Thank you very much, sir. Of course, that was the president of MS Broadcasting. And, WNBC.
Good afternoon. I'd like to speak to Alan Colmes.
Go right ahead. Yes, sir.
Hello, Alan.
Hi.
I absolutely love your show. I think it's great. It's a first-time caller. I'm sorry to...
Hey, what took you so long?
What took me so long? I don't know. I never could get through. I finally got his phone with a speed dialer, I guess. Alan, I really love your show. I love everybody. Judy DeAngelis. I've been listening to WNBC for, God, I'm 36 years old, maybe 20 years. And I'm sorry to see you go. I really am.
Well, thank you very much for expressing that today.
And I
Thank
really
you.
hate all the callers that say you guys are scum and everything. I just think that that's rude.
Well, they're entitled. You know that this show is the walking embodiment of the First Amendment, and people are entitled to say whatever they feel.
Well, that's true.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
also very, very impressed with your knowledge on everything.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You know, we're not doing shtick today. We're just being...
That's very true.
No shtick today.
Well, maybe just...
Yeah, sure. WNBC.
Okay, it's Friday. Last one.
See, we do a thing on the show. We do the last segment on Friday is normally Primal Screams. We give our listeners a chance to let out the emotions, the stress, the tension of the past 7 days, and it's Primal Scream time. The last few moments on Friday, and the man did very well. And I think echoed a sentiment we all feel.
A premature primal scream. Just couldn't wait.
WNBC.
Alan.
Yes.
I want to say goodbye and thank you. And I'm going to listen for you, look for you everywhere. And this is Sean, and I consider that you're mine.
What was that?
He considers you to be his.
And you know what,
Am I
Judy?
your slave, Sean?
I'm not a slave.
No, I thought I was yours. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to fight Elmo for
Do
you.
I have to come to your house and do some chores?
No. Judy.
Yeah.
Do you remember who I am?
Do I remember who you are?
Yeah, from the Elmo fiasco.
I'm sorry, I don't, Sean. Should I?
Oh, boy, I don't know. I'm upset. I was so flattered because you said you liked me.
Okay, is this the other gay guy who was after me?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is the gay guy who wanted me.
Yeah, but you know what I'm thinking?
What's that?
If Judy ever decides she wants to meet somebody, I kind of like her, too.
Thanks, Sean, but stick to the male bonding,
See,
okay?
if lesbianism is a woman with a woman, and heterosexuality is a man with a woman, and homosexuality is a man with a man or a woman with a woman, what is a gay man with a woman? We have to come up with a word for that. Thank you very much. We welcome Ed McMahon. Ed McMahon, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Ed.
Yeah, hold on just a moment.
Ed has gone through some changes since he worked here at WNBC.
Do we have to give him applause again?
I guess we'll have to applaud again, right? Poor Johnny really works him hard, doesn't he? Ed McMahon. Hi, Ed.
Alan, how you doing?
Ed McMahon, ladies and gentlemen. Ed McMahon hosted Fortune Phone here at WNBC.
Sounds like a party. What's going on?
Well, as you know, it's our last day. WNBC is going out of business today.
I can't believe that.
It's really sad.
What happened?
Well, we've been sold to MS Broadcasting.
Right.
As you may know, GE has made a corporate decision to dismantle the NBC radio empire. They sold off the networks last year, and this year they sold off the owned and operated radio stations, including this, the flagship station.
Oh, boy.
And today is the last day. As of 5:30 this afternoon, there will be no more WNBC radio.
That breaks my heart.
And there'll be no more radio at 30 Rockefeller Plaza.
Oh, I don't believe it. I spent so many hours in that studio and also doing monitor right next door. I can't believe it.
It's very, very sad.
Yeah.
Did you host Fortune Phone here at one time?
Yes, I did.
That was a great idea, putting a game show on radio.
It was a terrific idea. The first day, we had so many phone calls, we tied up the entire phone system of Manhattan.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And we had to change our format immediately for the second day.
What did you do differently?
Well, with the first time, they were calling in to us. Then we changed it so we were calling out.
Yeah. Oh, call out radio. There's a new concept.
Call out radio.
So you hosted this for another. I know a gentleman named Sterling Yates hosted it at one time.
Yes.
And, of course, you are a fixture in broadcasting, and I know that when The Tonight Show was done here, you spent a lot of time doing radio for NBC.
I did. I hosted Monitor for about 3 or 4 years. I loved that program. That was one of my favorites. And when we moved to California, we tried our darndest to find a way for me to do it from the West Coast. But they were worried about it. They wanted it live, and it just was impossible. We couldn't work it out. But I wanted to do it live from the West Coast.
Now you're in beautiful downtown Burbank, but for a long time you worked here at 30 Rock, and there's something about this building. There's a spirit in this building, a radio spirit, maybe a radio muse that makes everything so special here.
Well, I'll tell you what was special to me about that building. When I got back from World War II, they had a thing called the Welcome Home Auditions. And anybody who wanted to be on radio, a radio announcer, television was just, kind of getting going. There was not much television going on in 1946. But in 1946, I got off on that mezzanine floor where they had all that, that kind of 30s decor on the ceilings and on the walls. And I walked into a studio, and I took this audition. My knees were banging together so hard, you could hear it. It was going over the microphone. And I passed the audition. I got a B+, and I got offered about 4 jobs. And I decided not to go back into radio right away to get my education, and I'm glad I did. I went to Catholic University and got a degree in drama. And by that time, then there was television, 1949, and I went right into it.
Were you one of those people who thought television would never work?
Oh, no. I knew from the beginning I was going to work.
Well, Ed,
the first show I ever did, I hosted a 3-hour daily variety show. I know how to believe it was going to work.
Ed, thank you very much for taking some time out.
Nice talking with you, Alan. I'm sorry to hear the news, but let's give it off a great send-off.
We certainly will. Thank you, Ed. Ed McMahon, ladies and gentlemen. Ed McMahon, 2:38 at WNBC.
Alan Colmes. A mascara rich with conditioners is smart. A mascara that makes lashes the thickest is beautiful. Maybelline Great Lash Mascara. What big eyes you have. Great Lash Conditions. Pump it up as it thickens. Unleash those lashes for the biggest, thickest lashes ever. Wow. Great Lash Mascara. The one in the pink and green. Smart, beautiful, Maybelline.
When Sears brings you a value like this, we call it a great item. Imagine a 19-inch cable-ready color TV with on-screen readout of time and channel, 17-key remote control, precise quartz tuning, and more. Now imagine all that at a price like this, just $258. You save $91. Right now, Sears can bring you a TV with all that for $258, only through Saturday. Look for Sears' Great Item stamp of approval, now at Sears.
Oh, boy, look at the time. Look, we can do this grocery shopping fast if you help me.
I'll get the TV Guide magazine.
I'll get the produce and meat, and you pick up soup and coffee.
I'll get the TV Guide magazine.
We'll get the TV Guide later.
I can't enjoy TV without TV Guide.
Well, I know,
it's
but
not
we're
just listings. It's tons of fascinating stuff on television.
Then I'll get cat food, and you get
personalities behind the scenes. Very well written,
Are you
too,
going to
I
help
think.
me, please, with the shopping or what?
Okay.
Thank you. Now, what are you going to get?
I'll get the TV Guide magazine.
No, you're not.
TV Guide magazine. Fun to read, tough to put down. The best thing on television.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Perdue.
Everybody's chickens are approved by the government, but only my chickens are approved by me. And my quality standards are higher than the government's. You can find a government grade A tag on a chicken that's loaded with imperfections, but you won't find a Perdue grade A tag on any chicken that's less than perfect. In fact, my graders reject more than 25% of the chickens government graders accept as grade A. That's because the government is out to make sure the chicken you eat is acceptable. I'm out to make sure the chicken you eat is the best chicken you can eat. And that's why it's worth paying a little more for a chicken with a Perdue tag. Besides, if you're not completely satisfied with my chicken, you can always write me, the president of Perdue, and I'll give you your money back. If you buy some government-approved chicken and you're not completely satisfied, who do you write? The president of the United States? What does he know about chickens?
When it comes to chicken, Frank Perdue is even tougher than you are. He has to be because he looks like one. Every one of his chickens comes with a money-back guarantee. Takes a tough man to make a tender chicken. Perdue, all Gristedes and Red Apple supermarkets have fresh Perdue turkey parts on sale. Why not stop in and buy some? 2:41 at WNBC. And later on, the last thing you're going to hear when WNBC finally says goodbye at 5:30 this afternoon will be the NBC chimes. I'm just practicing. Because earlier I was going, I was going.
Gotta hit it lightly, Alan, lightly.
We welcome, by the way, Judy DeAngelis, of course, is with us. We have with us a radio scientist, analyst, commentator. He is now an owner with H&H Broadcasting, the original editor of Radio and Records, then a consultant to Billboard magazine, a former morning man at WFAN here in New York. Mike Harrison is with us. Let's welcome to our telephones Big Wilson.
Whoa!
Ta-da!
Hi, Big. Big.
Let's hear it. Yes.
It's so important to have you with us today.
Well, I feel very important being with you. I'm honored.
You are an influence to me. I was a listener to the station, and you and I have talked before. I listened to the station back when you were here. You did the morning show from 1962 to 68. Then you were number one middays here in the afternoon.
Yay!
And you are still an often talked about commodity here in New York City.
Oh, how nice! How nice!
What do you think about when the letters WNBC cross your mind?
Oh, just the greatest period of my life, I guess. I liked it best when it was the conversation station.
Me too.
I did the talking in the morning, and then, I think Dr. Joyce Brothers came in and did an hour. Ed McMahon did Fortune Phone.
He was just with us and wanted us to say hello to you, as did Lee Leonard, who was with us earlier.
Great, thank you. I was just going to say Lee Leonard and Brad Crandall and Long John at Night. Those were golden days for me. I just remember them so fondly.
Are there certain shows you've done that stand out in your mind?
Well, as I mentioned, that conversation, the whole thing I loved because every morning Commissioner Henry Barnes, then a traffic commissioner at that time, he would come on and do the joke of the day and then tell us about the traffic. You can't get better traffic reporting than from the traffic commissioner.
Gee, we should have thought of that. Judy, we should have the traffic commissioner on doing
I'll
it.
do what I can.
Yeah. Well, we only have about 2 hours to work on this. Huh?
Oh, dear. Is that the end of it then?
Will you, yes, at 5:30, there'll be no more WNBC. There'll be no more NBC radio. There'll be no radio emanating from 30 Rockefeller Plaza. Were you surprised when you heard about this?
Yeah, I really was. I thought that'd be there forever. But then I thought I'd be there forever too.
Yeah. Well, you were. We can talk. We can air a little dirty laundry here. You were let go by the station, but you had the last laugh because after you left the station, the ratings came out and you were number one.
Yes. But that doesn't really make me laugh because it changed my whole life, as you can imagine.
How so?
Well, I came down to Florida. I didn't know what to do next. We came to Florida, and I would rather, at that time, certainly have stayed in New York and been number one.
Yeah. Would you like to come back to New York again?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure I would. That's the town.
Yeah.
That is the town. This is nice down here. It's fun. It's an exciting city. Miami. You hear a lot of bad things about it, but there are a lot of good things, too.
It's so amazing sitting and hearing your voice, and I'm transported back to that time. It's like nothing has changed. All of a sudden, here's Big Wilson on WNBC.
I know. But, I did monitor for a couple of years with John Bartholomew Tucker, and I thought that would last forever. I closed that down.
Yeah. Maybe I don't feel so bad then.
And now I've closed you down.
Maybe booking him was not such a good idea. Well, Biggie, everybody used to call him Biggie, and later in the show, Sandy Teller, who was Long John Nebel's sidekick for many years, will be joining us.
I remember Sandy. Please, my love.
I certainly will, and I want to tell you how important and how much it means that you're with us today, and thank you so much for sharing a few minutes with us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Big Wilson.
Good night.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Big Wilson on WNBC for the very last time.
Yeah.
It's sad, historic.
Yes, it certainly is.
But it's sad.
Yeah.
Well, radio things are cyclical, aren't they, Mike?
Yeah, I think we're between cycles and eras for stations like this.
What cycle?
WNBC will show up again someplace, some small station in the desert somewhere. Will grab the call letters.
No, actually, NBC owns these call letters.
Well, that happened to KMET in Los Angeles. Was a very well-known station out there, rock station. I'm sure a lot of listeners have heard of it for many years, and then they decided to give up the call letters, change the format, go to a jazz format, the soft jazz thing, and a small station in the desert in Banning, California, that can be heard for about half a mile, took the call letters, and now KMET is a station in Banning, California.
I can't imagine.
Mike, I believe, though, that these call letters have been retained by GE. They will not be up for grabs.
Can you imagine WNBC, Little Rock? From 30 Rock to Little Rock.
No.
Well, it's nice to hear that. I mean, it's like retiring number 7.
Exactly.
We're going to spend as much time as we can talking to our listeners at 247-8666. Who we have on the phone?
Rory said that Rita was going to call.
Did you want to go on the air?
Yes.
Oh. Hello.
Alan.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
It's Rita Mandel.
Hi, Rita.
Hello.
How are you?
Okay. I had to call to tell you that I think you are one of the best all-around personalities radio has to offer, and certainly its brightest star in talk radio, Alan. You may feel that the empire is falling, but you won't.
Well, thank you.
You are really far too superior to your peers.
No.
Much too vital to radio to ever be silenced. You'll rise again. You'll be bigger and better than ever, Alan, if that's possible.
I feel like I'm in the middle of a David Wolper production all of a sudden.
You're a god.
Anyhow, with a lot of love, I wish you everything that you want. You and Manny will live on forever.
This is Manny Gelt's secretary, who is an office assistant, who is my agent. This is Manny Gelt's assistant. Thank you very much.
You're very
Rita.
welcome.
Thank you.
Happiness in whatever you do.
Thank you very much.
So long.
Well, isn't that nice?
Thank you. That's lovely.
Yes.
Let's go to our telephones. You know, we are spending a lot of time today sharing with former WNBC personalities and talking to the people who work here now, but it's really the listeners who have made WNBC. WNBC. It's because of the listeners that we are here. Let's say hello to Cousin Brucey. Bruce Morrow, ladies and gentlemen. Please have a seat. Please grab a microphone. You remember microphones, Bruce?
Testing. The strangest thing is happening now. You are getting more people with cameras. Every TV station's up here. Every network's up here. Where were they a year ago?
Our phones are lit. I've never seen it like this.
Boy, that's not true. Every time listen, I've been your guest many times. That is not true. The phones are always lit.
That's right.
Well,
always.
I guess you're right. You've called me on that.
No, I've had every one of my family call when I've been on.
Cousin Brucey, you know, if the adage, the bigger you are, the nicer you are, is true, and it is, Cousin Brucey is the walking embodiment of that. You are one of the nicest people in radio, and I love you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here.
That's what I want to be part of this. I really do. I bet he's asking, what is it going to be like tomorrow when you wake up and there's no WNBC? And I cannot fathom this. I mean, all my life, living in New York as a citizen of this great city, and always, going through the dial, you take something for granted. I take a few things in the city for granted. I take Nathan's hot dogs. Right. I take Gracie Mansion, right? The Empire State Building, and this radio station. Right? And it's going to be very strange tuning in tomorrow and not being able to find it. I think I'm going to be in a time warp or something.
Imagine people who left town for a while, come back, and they pick it up, and what are they?
Now look who's here with me. Joe McCoy.
Joe McCoy from WCBS-FM. Joe McCoy
there he is. Hey, Bruce,
was
how you
a
doing?
voice here at WNBC. Now a radio executive.
Well, you can call it that, I guess. Yeah, I was here back in 76 and 77. Actually, Brucey and I worked together, and when I was looking for someone to add some spark to my Saturday nights, I remembered this guy right here. He had been off the radio for a long, long time, and gave him a call and tried to coax him out of station management to coming back to CBS-FM.
You convinced him not to be an owner anymore,
not
to be an Empire owner.
Exactly right.
But to
money means nothing. Radio is what it's about. And come back to the radio.
That's what he said last week at our contractual meeting.
It still works, too.
And you, Joe, of course, have done a wonderful job with WCBS-FM. Of course, you stole the time machine, but
was that
it? Nevertheless, you have taken that station and made it into a very successful radio station.
Thank you. We have an alumnus here. Judy DeAngelis used to work for us.
I was just going to say that I know.
All right, Judy,
Joe,
why don't you do the job pitch now?
I know Joe McCoy from WCBS-FM, and what you say about Cousin Brucey, I can say exactly the same thing about this man, Joe McCoy, one of the nicest gentlemen in the business.
Thank you very
much. Without a doubt.
I worked with her husband also.
That's right,
How's it
years
going?
ago. Just fine. He'll be here a little later this afternoon.
Joe, what are your special remembrances of WNBC?
Well, my time here really wasn't all that long. It was, I guess, the latter part of 76 and a good part of 1977. Other than being fired, let's see. No, I do remember. I remember this as being one of the places that I really enjoyed working at. The people here were really great. It was a lot of fun. This gentleman on the other side of the board was here then.
Bruce Leonard.
Brucey was here.
Yeah.
And.
The other Brucey.
So
we worked together too.
Sure. And we had a good time here. We really did. We had a good bunch of people, and I was really shaken up. I think the first time I came here and I saw the tours, and I had to do my first show. It was a midday show following IMIS, and that was enough to shake you up a little bit anyway. But my first live commercial was a Black Flag commercial, which read something like the Encyclopedia of Ants. And I said to myself, how the hell am I going to read this commercial? And I've got about 30 people staring through that window. And every morning at about 10:10, so I had to read a Black Flag commercial, and I think I remember that more than anything else.
Were you allowed to say 10:10 on 660?
We weren't allowed to say 77, were we?
Was it ever 77 degrees here? I don't think so.
No. Yeah, I think in most of New York it wasn't 77 degrees. I think that was kind of the no-no because Brucey and the cohorts were number one back then.
We just talked to Big Wilson, and we talked about him being fired. And fired is not a bad word in this business, by the way.
No, it's not.
And you just said you were fired, and Cousin Brucey was fired. And the list of people fired from this radio station is a who's who of broadcasting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's what's going to go down probably in the annals of NBC is how many people were fired from here. As a matter of fact, when we were leaving, Imus had a jingle that said, "You're fired," and I think he just played every jingle of every air personality that was on the station.
He was fired, too.
Well, that's true,
They
yeah.
fired him, too.
You know what we have? We have the Brucey piece that somebody very special did for you.
Yeah.
Morrison Cruz, who's been here since 1776.
Morrison Cruz, are you aware Morrison Cruz used to cook for me every night? He had a hot stove in the back. This is a great story. I wish you would do that for me, Joe. I mean, if he was a nice guy, he would do this to me. Morrison Cruz used to make me Salisbury steak. I love Salisbury steak, and I couldn't get it anywhere except Horn and Hart, and it was closed. Morrison used to go out and get the meat and cook for me.
Aww.
And now he's with the Today Show.
Yes,
right?
he is, with Willard Scott.
And Morrison Cruz was out at the airport. I don't remember whether it was JFK or LaGuardia, and he got this sound clip.
Norman Knight and Cousin Brucey, we miss you right out here at the airport. Your friends are here, and why aren't you out here? Wish you were here. It's nice and fresh. Good little breeze, a lot of friends.
Morrison Cruz is here, right?
Yeah, I'll say Morrison. I want to tell you, he's my friend. He came out to see me, and you all didn't.
You know who that is?
No, I can't.
Nelson Rockefeller.
Oh, yeah.
Was that true?
Yeah.
You know, he used to go out. Remember, Morrison Cruz used to be, I guess, he used to go out in the car and get sound bites. And that's right. Every once in a while, he'd come back with these wild things. Like, I think he had Nixon for me once. He had Rockefeller. He used to get all these people I wouldn't know who they were. I mean, give me Chubby Checker and Jerry Lee Lewis. I mean, and I know, but
I think he called every one of them Chief, too, didn't he?
Yeah, yes. Chief, that's right.
He still does that, by the way. Hiya, Chief. We should bring, was Morrison around?
He was before.
We have to get him in here to say hi to Brucey.
We're
going to take a break. Joe McCoy is here, Cousin Brucey. Mike Harrison of H&H Broadcasting, at one time with Billboard, Radio and Records, at the founding of Radio and Records was there.
And he was with us on CBS Radio.
That's right. Did some consulting for CBS as well. And Judy DeAngelis, of course, with me. Bruce Leonard is engineering this show. David Brandt and Melinda have done a wonderful job putting this show together, by the way. And both of them have done a superb job over the past months, working under very difficult. I've never worked with such a professional staff of people who understand. You know, when you're told the station's been sold, and we were told this in February.
Yes.
And then you're told a few months later that you're not being kept.
That's right.
As everybody except the Imus crew was, and you're able to perform the way this crew has. I'm very proud. I'm so proud to be a part of these people,
That's
and
right.
Thank you all very much. This is. I mean, you deserve to applaud for us. We're going to take a break and be back on WNBC.
66 WNBC.
Time out, sports fans. Hey, this is your old pal, Willard Scott. America's dairy farmers have asked me to remind you to kick off the football season with real cheese. Hey, I like to take time out for pregame mini pizza warm-ups with plenty of melted mozzarella. And for the real game winner, a football hero sandwich topped with slices of Swiss and Colby cheese. Just make an in-run to the store and don't forget the cheese.
Sponsored by America's Dairy Farmers, American Dairy Association.
Ride with the wind when you're one with the road. You can feel every move, you're in control. Just a touch of the wheel and the power is yours. It's the look and the feel, the one that's for real. It's the new spirit, gotta be the spirit of Dodge. It's the new spirit.
There's a new spirit at your Dodge dealer. You'll see it in the wide range of Dodge quality cars and trucks we sell, and in everything we do. See your Dodge dealer today, where the new spirit shows.
It's the new spirit. The new spirit of Dodge. The new spirit of Dodge.
We're on WNBC, and I'm Alan Colmes, 256, and we have coming up this afternoon, we've already heard some of the great voices. Cousin Bruce, you can stick around for a while?
Yeah, I'm going to say
Joe McCoy is here. We have Mike Harrison, who is giving us kind of an overview of the radio industry. Judy DeAngelis, of course. We spoke earlier to Ed McMahon, and we spoke to Dr. Joyce Brothers and Bill Cullen and Lee Leonard, and still to come, Gene Rayburn, Bob Pittman, who was here for years in the management area and made some important changes at the radio station.
I'll say.
Don't
we know about it?
Now, Bruce, I'm sure you want to say hello to Bob. And
I'd like to bite him. I mean, say hello. No, he did me a big favor. I didn't know at that time.
We'll be talking to Brad Crandall, Bob Fitzsimmons, Buffalo Bob Smith, Wolfman Jack, and Ted Brown. Ted just walked in?
Yeah.
Let's say hello to Ted Brown. Ted Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hey, please, hold your applause. Don't touch the body, please, and no autographs.
Hi, Ted. How are you? Very nice to have you here.
It's really a sad thing to say. This is the best show you've ever done.
Well, I mean, as of this moment that you walked in, is that it?
No, I've been listening to it since about 1 o'clock.
It's really good to have you here and share a microphone with you, because I've been a fan of yours since first you were on WNEW, then you came here.
Yeah.
I remember the first bit you did on this radio station.
Oh, really?
Do you know what it was?
No.
You called WNEW.
Oh, yes, I did. I do know, yeah.
What'd you do?
Well, when I came here, I wanted to have something to open up with, that's really unusual. So the first thing I was going to do, but I had to change it. I was going to say, boy, look at all these telegrams. Isn't it terrific? Everybody welcome me here to NBC. And here's one from General Sarnoff. Da-da-dit, da-da-da, da-dit, da-da-da. But he wasn't feeling well, and they didn't know whether he was going to stay or go. So I switched it by calling the mailroom at WNEW and asked them to please forward my mail here at NBC. That guy's still over at NEW.
The mailroom guy.
Yeah.
Now that's where you get longevity in this
But you can thank me for that blind there on the window.
The blind?
That's right.
The tourists go by, but some people put the blind down if they don't want to.
That's right. But you can thank me for that, because I went into the general manager and I said I want a curtain or some kind of a blind up there, because there are some times when you just don't feel like being stared at by two nuns, a priest, and somebody from
But I'll tell you something. I know you did the same thing. I made a fortune with those tours.
Did you really?
Oh yeah. I used to sell pictures out there every time they came. I went outside. I sold your picture and mine.
Listen, the funniest thing is that I have nothing against nuns. Naturally, I love them, but I mean, there were times when you were doing benefits and you had to sort of like start to dress by the time you were late.
We were dressing to be on radio. That's right.
So they said, no, you can't have it at all. It's you can't have it's forget it. So the next day I held up a tour and I said, hold them. And I put a long record on, went out, got the 28 people, walked into the program director's office with 28 people, lined them up and said, now let's be very quiet, but let's watch this man work. And we had a curtain up there the next day.
Really? Sometimes if you put the tour down, the tour people get very upset if you put the blind down. They're not too thrilled about that.
Listen, they paid to see it, so they should really see it, I guess.
But, what were your special recollections about your time on WNBC?
Yeah, I had a lot. I had the best of both worlds. I did a bit that was taped with my ex-wife, the redhead, on a thing here where Margaret Truman was running on radio that turned out to be Monitor later on. And it was a 5-minute comedy bit. And then I did Monitor for many years here. And the drive time. And the thing that I remember most about NBC, it was really funny, is that, not funny, but it was Imus coming from Cleveland. And I had never met him. And he'll verify the story, but he could knock my brains out, let me tell you right now. But he used to say horrible things about me on the air.
I remember one particular remark. That you were in the twilight of a mediocre career.
Right,
Remember said
that was one of the things he said. And I was doing drive time on the same station with him, and I couldn't understand that.
Sure, in those days we didn't do that to each other.
No, we complimented each other. So finally, one day I caught him. He came in, and I said, hey, man, you ought to lighten up until I get to know you. Then we'll do it. I'll do it to you. You can do it to me. He says, you don't like it? Sue me. I said, no, I'll tell you what I will do, though. I live 5 minutes from here, and I'm going to tune you in tomorrow morning. And if you dare to mention my name, just mention my name, I'm going to come down here and put a chair right between your eyes. And he looked at me like this, and he walked out. And I said, why make statements like that when you can't really do it?
I believe he understood that encyclopedia.
Did he mention your name the next day?
Don was not the kind of guy that would take threats idly. He would leave quick.
Let me tell you something. He came back, and he knocked on that window, and he came in, and he said, hey, we're on the same stage, and you were right. And we've been best friends ever since.
Really?
you know?
We're going to take a news break and then hopefully come back with
I'd
more.
rather you didn't, if you don't mind.
Okay,
I'm doing
Ted.
a better show here than I do on NEW.
Ted Brown, and we'll come back.
You can all come over to NEW when we close.
A minute after 3 o'clock at WNBC.
This is news from 66 WNBC, New York.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judy DeAngelis, and here's what's happening at 3:01. A house in Clinton Township, New Jersey, appears to have a dubious distinction. The home 40 miles west of the city has what officials believe to be the highest levels of deadly radon ever measured in a structure. Officials say most other houses tested nearby have also registered high radon readings. Even so, some neighbors refuse to believe that they are in any danger. One day after a grand jury report concluded that Tawana Brawley lied about her abduction and rape by 6 white men, there is a report now that an investigation has been opened concerning her 3 advisors. State Attorney General Robert Abrams wants to know if there is any impropriety displayed by Reverend Al Sharpton or her 2 attorneys, C. Vernon Mason and Alton Maddox. Looks like the end of a Senate attempt to try and get a parental leave bill passed, at least during this election year.
Unable to break a Republican filibuster, the Senate has pretty much given up on the issues of unpaid parental leave, child care, and child pornography, at least for this session of Congress. Along with an anti-drug bill, this pro-family legislation had been a top priority of some, including Massachusetts Democrat Edward Kennedy.
We hear a great deal of discussion in the national presidential campaign about family issues. This is it.
The parental leave bill would have mandated unpaid leave for childbirth, adoption, and serious illness. Opponents claim it would cost businesses too much money and cost workers jobs. Al Freeman, NBC Radio Network News, Capitol Hill.
The 2 presidential candidates are out stumping today. Democratic vice presidential candidate Lloyd Benson told voters in Dallas not to be fooled by the latest economic statistics.
I can give you an illusion of prosperity. Just let me write $200 billion worth of hot checks a year like this administration has done. If you handled your personal affairs or your businesses as this administration has handled its fiscal responsibility, you'd either be broke or you'd be in jail.
President Reagan, meanwhile, heading out to Detroit today in an effort to help his vice president capture the White House. And finally, the radio station that broadcast the first paid commercial way back in 1922 will today mark the end of an era. At 5:30 this afternoon, WNBC signing off forever. It will become WFAN All Sports Radio. WNBC News Time, 3:03.
Okay, you go to the store, you buy something you need, you bring it home, and the very next day you're shopping somewhere else, and what do you see? The exact same item you bought yesterday for less money. Don't you wish you had a nickel for every time that happened? Well, Channel Home Centers know how aggravating that can be, and that's why they're going to give you something better than a nickel. They're going to give you a great deal backed by a great promise. Okay, first here's the deal. This week, save on GE Silicone 2 Sealant. It's perfect for sealing and insulating windows, doors, and siding. It comes in a variety of colors, it's easy to use, and a resealable 10-ounce cartridge is just $3.99. All right, now for that promise I was talking about. If you find that item advertised anywhere for less money, Channel will beat that price. Hands down. They call that price assurance, and you can get it at Channel Home Centers. Hey, you could go ahead and shop someplace else, but remember, it's your nickel. Channel Home Centers. There's no better place. Any place.
At 3:04, WNBC wants you to know if you live in New Jersey and have questions about cancer, you can call the American Cancer Society's special toll-free number, 1-800-ACS-2345. Here are the latest tri-state area conditions from the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network. Southbound Garden State Parkway in New Jersey, very heavy south of the Bergen tolls through exit 154 in Clifton. It's all due to left lane construction. Holland, Lincoln Tunnels, GWB, minor delays each way. WNBC Sports. Game 3 of the National League playoffs tonight at Shea. The Mets and Dodgers tied up at 1 game each. Ron Darling facing John Tudor on the mound. Oakland A's leading the Boston Red Sox by 2-0 in the American League Championship Series. Game 3 tomorrow night in Oakland. WNBC weather. Mostly cloudy and cool this afternoon. The highs in the mid-50s. Cloudy, quite cool tonight. The low 40 to 45. Mostly cloudy and chilly tomorrow with a 40% chance of light rain or drizzle. The high 50 to 55. And on Sunday, partly cloudy and cool. Currently, the temperature is 53 degrees. Well, as for me, it's been a wonderful ride with great talent, a respected newsroom, wonderful colleagues. And to all of them, I wish goodbye, good luck, and God bless. And oh yeah, thanks for the memories. And now for the last time with pride, I say, that's what's happening. I'm Judy DeAngelis, WNBC News.
WNBC remembers 66 years of New York's most memorable radio.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
66 years ago, the word radio was not far from being a household name. Just a few years earlier, a young inventor named Marconi discovered a method of transmission via a spark gap generator. Well, as crude as it was, it laid the foundation for the future in a medium known as broadcasting. In the spring of 1922, the American Telephone and Telegraph Company realized a possible future in this medium and signed on an experimental station, W2XY. A short 4 months later, after granting an approval for a limited commercial license, the call letters changed to WBAY and finally to the mighty 500-watt WEAF. This was the beginning of WNBC.
This is radio station WEAF. This is the world's first toll broadcasting station. The studio is located at 24 Walker Street in New York City. Heretofore broadcasting has been gratis to all. Now, due to the great demand by those who wish to use the airwaves for goodwill purpose, and with only one wavelength available, 360 meters, we are offering toll broadcasting service. You're now about to hear some Victor phonograph records.
And with that, the pioneers of broadcasting set the foundation for the future.
WNBC 66 WNBC.
You know, the people who have worked at WNBC is a who's who of broadcasting, and that who's who is, to some extent, with us right now. Cousin Brucey is here, Bruce Morrow, responsible for both evenings and then middays here at WNBC. Ted Brown worked afternoon drive here at the WNBC, and I'm honored to hold down, or have held down up till today, the slot that Ted Brown once held down at this radio station.
Doing a good job, too.
Thank you, even though you said today's my best show ever. But, you know.
No.
But I'll take that, because you can't do better than people like you and Brucey. Mike Harrison is here, who is a radio analyst and consultant and giving us kind of an overview. Judy DeAngelis, of course, is joining us. Bruce Leonard, we finally, see, you used to have engineers back. We don't. I do my own control board now, but they gave me Bruce Leonard here today, finally. It took till the last day to get this gift from management. We have on the phone Mark Bench, who is general manager of WNSR. Hi, Mark. Is Mark here? Oh, I have to do this. Wait a second. Hi, Mark.
Yes. How are you?
Mark Bench is general manager of WNSR. I've come up with a new format, Soft Talk.
I love it.
Yeah. How are you doing, Mark? It's nice of you to call today.
Well, thank you. We've been, all of us have been over here listening to the radio, and guess which station? Yours today. And we've really enjoyed the recap special.
Well, certainly Dale Parsons did and Jim Collins and Dan Taylor did a wonderful job putting together the stuff that comes out of the news, those vignettes.
Yeah.
And your station's doing great.
Oh, we're having fun.
So when are you going out of business?
We did that once, you'll recall.
Right.
Our call letters showed up in Florida once, and I don't know where they are now. Our old ones.
Mark, if you're doing so well, how come you call
We're going to miss your legendary call letters and a great music competitor.
Right. So, it's nice of you to call, and of course, Mark's station WNSR, deceased or older, is the demographics. But
thanks a lot.
So that's one station I will not be resurfacing on, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, we're going to miss you a whole lot, and it's been great listening to the special.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. Mark Bench with WNSR Radio here in New York. And it's nice, radio is really a community. And Ted Brown from WNEW and Joe McCoy and Brucey from WCBS FM. It used to be in the old days, you couldn't mention the call letters of another radio station, right?
Right. It's a no-no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But now, it's a family.
It is,
right.
Especially in this city. We talk about Ted. Ted will talk about us. Yep. We mention Alan all the time. We mention all the other call letters. I wish one thing, though. The way you're handling this today, we're having this sort of a bittersweet situation here. And what you're doing here, the way you're making me feel as if we're never going to hear from you again, and that's not true.
I'm not doing that.
There's no way, because I know, look, we have Mark listening out there. There's every GM within hundreds of miles of this radio station listens to it. Every program director, they're listening right now, and the wheels are starting to turn. And there's no way that Alan Colmes will be off the air in this area.
That's right.
We want you here. You are part of New York City, and you belong here.
Well, thank you very much. Let me give the number out then.
No, really. What you've got to do, if you don't happen to, lock in somewhere, just say, well, it just wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, right. The business has really changed.
It wasn't fun anymore, or I'd rather spend some more time with my family.
And that's why I've chosen dry goods, because I felt that...
Brucey's got a station for you, don't you, Bruce?
Sure. I just happen to have the contract.
We have so many great radio personalities here today and joining us by phone, and I think we have not spent enough time talking to the listeners, the people who are part of WNBC, the most important part, the people who supported the station by writing things in Arbitron books. Let's see who's on it. Let's just take some random phone calls. WNBC, hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
I want to talk to Alan Colmes.
You're on the air. Go ahead. Hi.
How you doing?
Hi.
Listen, I want to say I enjoyed your show.
Thank you.
And I want to find out, do you have any speculations where you might be going?
Yes, I'll be getting coffee for Ted Brown starting on Monday morning.
Decaffeinated, please.
Right, thank you very much. WNBC.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, WNBC.
So far, hurry up.
There's no need to hurry.
You just got in under the wire, yeah.
This is Jay Smilkstone from Radio Parts House in Mount Kisco, New York.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to say that there are a lot of people in rural areas who listen to music on AM who can't get satisfactory FM.
I always knew we should have done a farm report here. And well, Brucey, I know, and Mike Harrison have very strong feelings about AM radio. Mike is in the AM radio business. And AM radio, its demise is greatly exaggerated, isn't it?
I think its demise is exciting. I think it's going to be a whole exciting new kind of radio in AM. What do you think, Brucey?
Absolutely. Look, we own 4 AM radio stations and 4 FM radio stations. Our AM radios were as successful, if not more successful, than the FM. And what Mike just said is that depending on the market, AM radio has been forced into a certain category to produce aesthetic, creative broadcasting. And wherever you go in this country, FM is doing extremely well. Right? But AM radio, if you go into AM radio, you can find very interesting things there in different markets that are very exciting.
And listeners like this in rural areas get the blanket coverage that AM gives and FM can't.
This program now, as you well know, every time we do this show, and I've been on this show many times with you, I get calls from Maine, I get calls from Canada. I hear us all over the place. It's amazing.
Thank you for calling WNBC.
Hello, Alan.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Hello to all your guests. I've listened to all of them over the years on NBC. This is a sad day for me, too. I've listened to you from the first day you came to NBC every day at 3 in my office, and I'm going to go through withdrawals when I don't have you on at 3 o'clock. And I've called you many times to annoy you, and many times just to hear myself on the radio in different characters and all. And I've had a lot of fun listening to you. I know I'll hear from you again in the New York market.
Thank you very much. Even people who've hated me have been very kind the last couple of days. Let's say hello on the phones to Bob Pittman. Bob Pittman, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not applauding.
How are you?
Hi, Bob.
Pittman.
How are you, Bob?
Good.
Bob, of course, was program director here at WNBC, and we keep mentioning that now, of course, he runs Quantum Communications. He went to MTV, founded MTV, and he is now the chief honcho at the Morton Downey Jr. show.
Oh.
And it was under your tutelage that this became WNBC, right, Bob?
That's it. It's sort of funny to see it going away since that was such the kingpin station of the country for such a long period of time.
How did this whole WNBC, with the emphasis on the N?
Well, when I came in, we changed the format, went after WABC, and if you say WABC and WNBC, you don't have too many letters difference. So I think it probably started with a couple of the jocks pushing the N, and
I'd rather
everybody
not be
picked up
called
on
a
it,
jock
and away
if you
it
don't
went.
mind, Bob.
Ted Brown objects to the word jock.
Yeah, I never liked you, Bob, and I still don't like you.
Really? Well, you
I'm kidding, Bob. I'm just kidding.
Bob, the day you took me to lunch to tell me that I think younger people should take my position, you never picked up the tab, Bob.
You know what?
Me
And now I'm one of those older guys, Brucey.
WNBC.
It's very depressing, I have to tell you.
Yeah, Bob Pittman's probably as old as you were the day he took you to lunch. So.
No, he was younger.
I loved when he started. He did a non-commercial hour on AM, which was unusual at the time. I don't remember any AM stations doing that.
Because we were carrying, 18
Do you remember
to 20,
that, Bob?
right?
Of course, we couldn't sell any commercials at the time, so it was an easy decision to make.
But I know you did that too when you came over.
No, we had a good time, and that was back in the era when you still could get a lot of music listeners on AM, and it's sort of a shame that all the AM stations are giving up on music around the country.
Bob, of all your accomplishments here at WNBC, and you were a very celebrated programming executive, still are, but of course in radio those days, what's your most your proudest accomplishment?
Proudest accomplishment?
Here.
Probably rehabilitating Don Imus, bringing him back from Cleveland.
Yeah. We have one of the other personalities who you work with, Johnny Dark, on the other line. Hi, Johnny.
Hello.
Johnny?
Yeah.
Bob Pittman is on the other line.
You're kidding. Johnny Dark, this is the reunion. This is your life, Johnny Dark. I didn't know that you could tie the phones together like that.
Well, we did something.
We're off the radio, probably. But
no, we're on the radio.
Together.
We're on the radio. And I'm sure that Bruce Leonard did something illegal to get us to do this.
This is on the radio?
Yeah.
This is called conferencing calls.
Amazing.
In case you haven't been back to AM too.
Ted Brown, of course, knew Alexander Graham Bell and knows all the terminology.
That's right. That's right.
So you hired Johnny Dark, right, Bob?
I did. Johnny Dark I'd known for a long time. As you were talking earlier today about the community of radio, it's a very small business, even though it's a national business.
Johnny, nice of you to speak to us for a couple of seconds here on this final day.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, how ridiculous is this?
Well,
I mean,
I think the operative word is very.
What kind of a company would give up the calls WNBC?
I don't know.
They need a checkup from the neck up, don't they? As Imus would say.
Johnny, thank you very much. Thank you for. Which line do we have Johnny on? Which line do we have Bob on? 7645. Is Bob? Is Johnny? Johnny, let me thank you. Bob, you are on to bigger and better things. You are now doing the Morton Downey Jr. show.
Well, I don't know. It's different things. Radio is a lot of fun, and I hate to say that anything I'm doing is bigger or better than that.
So you sometimes miss your radio days. You get
I love
nostalgic
radio.
about it?
I started in radio at age 15, so it got me out of Mississippi. Everybody needs a ticket out of a place like that, and radio provided it for me.
I see. Well, thank you for taking a couple of minutes to join us and reminisce and.
Well, good luck with your future too.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Yes.
This is Cousin Brucey. Bob, let's have lunch sometime.
You
Bob, what channel is Downey on?
What?
What channel are you on in the New York? Channel 9, right?
Channel 9.
I think I'm buying it, Bob. Let's have lunch. Let's have lunch, Bobby.
Goodbye, and I'll eat.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bob Pittman, ladies and gentlemen. And it's,
I think we got to give a little bit of applause to Bruce here. That was pretty good. That was well done, Bruce.
You ever feel that there's justice in the universe and you have just gotten yours?
No, you know something? I'll tell you, and I know he's listening now. At the time, when we should let everybody know what happened. When I was on NBC, Bob Pittman came in, and it was a very fresh young kid who did not understand the market, which I still believe, as he grew into the market, he started to understand it way after he made a few mistakes. I was one of them. And he told me one day at lunch, which I paid for, that I believe that I should give the younger guys, it's in my book, a shot to listening, that I don't need this anymore. And I looked at this guy and I'm saying, oh, this young kid going to tell, the heck with it. I left. All right? Daddy knows this story. And I left the thing. I think that was a very big mistake, and I was very angry in those days about that. But I gotta tell you, I'm sitting here right now,
and he's still angry.
No, I'm not. I think Bob is grown very beautifully. He's doing what he wants to do now, and I think he's a very talented guy.
And getting a little older.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break and come back with what a day and what a group of people we have in the studio. Cousin Brucey is here, Joe McCoy from WCBS FM, Ted Brown is here, Mitch Lebby has come down to say...
the world's youngest DJ. Do you know that?
Right.
WINS, when we first started, he was called the world's youngest DJ. That's right. When I first started WINS, that's right.
I introduced you on your first
That's
day.
right.
We'll continue in a moment on WNBC.
Jimmy Breslin switched to Newsday because of the paper's great city and borough coverage and for outstanding writers like Murray Kempton.
Murray Kempton has been a hero of mine for a long, long time and will continue to be. Murray Kempton put more honor and more of the English language into newspapers than anyone in my business. He's probably the most copied columnist of my time. Everybody steals from Kempton.
Even you, Jimmy?
Guilty. What, are you kidding?
Jimmy Breslin switched to New York Newsday. How about you?
British Airways wants me to tell all you globe-trotting Americans that it's high time to take off on one of their superb European holidays. Now 10% off for a limited time.
"What a perfectly splendid offer," I said. "The British Isles wreathed in golden harvest light. Europe replete with echoes of the ancients. Yes, charming," they said, "but what in fact we've got to communicate is that British Airways has hundreds of flexible European land arrangements at 10% off. London, Paris, Dublin, Rome, 10% off. Theatres, hotels, transport, 10% off." Well, I'm pleased to report that we've reached a compromise. For hard facts and figures on British Airways holidays at 10% off, call your travel agent or 1-800-876-2200 right now. However, for 10% off a radiant European sojourn, call 1-800-876-2200 at a quiet moment when inspiration tugs at your sleeve, and not a moment sooner. You must book and pay for your holiday by October 31st. Other significant restrictions apply.
Visit most luxury automobile dealerships, and you're likely to hear a lot of talk about things like bloodlines and image and noble traditions. But visit an Acura dealership, and you'll hear about a tradition we consider to be more meaningful, a tradition of satisfaction. For the second year in a row, Acura has been named #1 in customer satisfaction by the J.D. Power & Associates CSI survey, which measures customer satisfaction with product quality and dealer service. Not #1 for luxury cars or imports, #1 among all automakers, period. Again, which means that people aren't only impressed with the image surrounding Acura, they're impressed with the cars themselves. Which brings up an important point. When you're shopping for cars and listening to the people who sell them, don't forget to listen to the people who drive them. Acura. Precision crafted performance.
RNs, LPNs, physical therapists, lab technicians, dental assistants, nutritionists, pharmacists, x-ray technicians.
The Daily News has so many jobs in the healthcare field, I found exactly what I was looking for.
If you're looking for a new job or a new career,
The place to turn is the Daily News.
whether it's in healthcare, banking, retail, or another field, you'll find the job you're looking for every day in the New York Daily News Classified section, with more job opportunities in more fields than ever before. And on Sunday and Monday, a special pull-out section.
Place to turn is the Daily News.
I was just checking the Daily News to find out what's happening in my profession, and this great job in sales almost jumped off the page.
The place to turn is the Daily News.
The bigger than ever Daily News Classified section. 7 days a week, it's the first place to turn to find pages and pages of the best jobs in the business.
The place to turn is the Daily News. New York's hometown paper.
Rick Cimino, why do you invest with Charles Schwab?
Well, back in 1984, the market fell and the prices went down on my stocks. And sure, it was all on paper, but it scared me. So I came away convinced that I could do better making my own decisions. So I'd heard all those commercials about Charles Schwab, and I decided to call and find out what it was all about. Well, for 3 years, I've been trading with Schwab and saving about 50% on commissions compared to what I paid my full commission broker. Yeah, Schwab saved me hundreds of dollars. So now the market's down again, and a lot of my friends are taking a hard look at the commissions they're paying their brokers. And when you add up the cost, well, chances are you'll do what I did in '84. Anybody would. Pick up the phone and call Schwab. For my money, if you're going to invest for the long haul, Schwab's the broker to call.
To find out how you can switch to Schwab, call toll-free today, 800-228-5600. That's 800-228-5600. Call Schwab now.
I want to thank all the people who finally decided to buy time on the station. Bond's biggest ever Columbus Day holiday sale is now on, with near giveaway prices on famous brand big and tall size sportswear, outerwear, and furnishings. Selections are fantastic. Markdowns are sensational. London Fog all-weather zip-lined raincoats for big and tall men. Single and double-breasted classics selling elsewhere for $200 and more. Now $129 and $149 at Bond's. Magnificent hand-knit designer sweaters, $120 values, now $69. 100% cotton sweaters by Patini, worth $60, half price at $34. Big and tall men will appreciate heavyweight wool blend plaid sport shirts, made to sell for $40, on sale for $24. Guy LaRoche reversible parkas with snap-off hoods, $120 value, a sensational buy at $69. Join the thousands of big and tall men who've discovered that Bonds has more in their special size for less than most stores charge for regular sizes. Bonds Columbus Holiday Sale. Hurry in for super sportswear savings. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Perdue.
Everybody's chickens are approved by the government, but only my chickens are approved by me. And my quality standards are higher than the government's. You can find a government grade A tag on a chicken that's loaded with imperfections, but you won't find a Purdue grade A tag on any chicken that's less than perfect. In fact, my graders reject more than 25% of the chickens government graders accept as grade A. That's because the government is out to make sure the chicken you eat is acceptable. I'm out to make sure the chicken you eat is the best chicken you can eat, and that's why it's worth paying a little more for a chicken with a Purdue tag. Besides, if you're not completely satisfied with my chicken, you can always write me, the president of Purdue, and I'll give you your money back. If you buy some government-approved chicken and you're not completely satisfied, who do you write? The President of the United States? What does he know about chicken?
When it comes to chicken, Frank Purdue is even tougher than you are. He has to be because every one of his chickens comes with his money-back guarantee. It takes a tough man to make a tender chicken. Purdue, all ShopRite supermarkets have Purdue products on sale. Why not stop in and buy some? It's 3:26 at WNBC. It's kind of a countdown show in a sense. We have just a couple hours left, about 2 hours and 4 minutes, before there is no more WNBC radio, and it's mind-boggling.
Well, the weather may become inclement, and they won't be able to do it, you know?
Yeah, well,
you never know, just like down in Florida.
Either that or maybe we can take pledges or something like that.
Yeah, maybe we raise enough money now, we can buy this place.
Get enough phone calls.
Bruce,
You
this
wanna
could be your
call
next
us,
acquisition.
No, hey, listen, let me tell you, owning radio stations is very tough. No wonder these management people are almost shook. They're crazy people. I never understood why people who own radio stations are so nuts. They're crazies. I mean, Mike will tell you this too. We're crazy. It is nicer to sit here. I go on my radio show on CBS FM with this guy, Joe McCoy. Happiest moments. Like, this is where you belong and this is where you always will be. You know, you don't want to own a radio station, I'll tell you. Get you crazy.
Sullivan talks highly of you.
Selling radio stations is terrific. Owning them is tough.
Ted, you said earlier during the break that you want to hear the way Cousin Brucey originally sounded.
You see,
on the
you folks out there, you're not hearing the real Cousin Brucey, not the Cousin Brucey that made him famous. And he's grown and matured, so I guess maybe he doesn't want to do it. But
no, I do want to do it. I can't. My body can't handle it.
Well, I know it can. And all I want you to do is to just pick up a piece of copy or something and do the original Cousin Brucey.
Now, you want a couple moments? I'll do it. Let's say I'll do one. In those days, we sold, especially on this station, we had a National School of Home Study, a trade, and we had Blematine a go-go. Remember that? It was a blemish remover. And I said something. I will go take you back now. It's 1900.
Now, really, do it the way you had.
Let's go 58, 59, all right?
Okay. Yeah.
Great
right.
golden year. Hi, everybody. Here I am. It's your Cousin Brucey. Hey, listen, I know everybody out there has a lot of pimples, but forget it. Cousin Brucey can get rid of those pimples. Yes, I can. Yes. Listen, it's a new product called Blematine Go-Go. And I'll tell you something. If you give me 3 days, I'll get rid of those pimples. Blematine Go-Go, 3 days, money back, or your pimples back. This is your Cousin Brucey. And now, here's Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
I love it.
That destroys your body.
What year did you reach puberty, Bruce?
My last contract with CBS FM.
Actually, you have really molded and refined the act and made it very contemporary for 1988.
Well, you had to, Interesting. We had Bob Pittman on a few moments ago.
Yeah.
And, he probably had a point in his head. He had a point, and things were changing. The 70s came along. Teddy, we went through this, Yep. Alan was too young. He doesn't remember this thing. And, things were changing. The music was changing. When I first started with guys like Freed, I sounded like the music. The music was there, bam, bam, bam. So my Cousin Brucey thing was, like the music. Here comes 1970, and wow, what happened? Someone pulled the plug. I don't know what to do anymore. I didn't sound like the music. I was not comfortable with the music, right? I had to leave. I couldn't do it. Now we're in the 80s. Everybody loves what Cousin Brucey's playing on my shows. Everybody's the Dirty Dancers and the La Bambas, and everybody's using our oldies, the so-called oldies. But it's now 1988, so Cousin Brucey now still sounds like the music, but I also have to sound like my audience wants to hear. Yeah. It's a very tough thing to do.
In those days, Brucey, you talked to teenagers, though, in those days.
That's right. And I never heard anything like that. I mean, I grew up with Alan Freed. Let's give credit where it's due. Alan Freed and Murray, all right? I mean, I remember Ted Brown. You're a little different today. You were a little more frenetic in those days.
Yes, that's true. Also worked with my wife then, too.
That's right.
Ted Brown and the Redhead.
Yeah. Didn't Bob and Ray do the morning show here?
Did they at one time?
Yeah.
I know.
Yes, they did, because I remember one morning we did our show from our home up in Harrison.
Right.
And one morning I got a call, and it was the engineer, and he said there was a big storm that night and our transmitter blew down. We're not going on the air. And I leaned over to my wife in the next bed, and I said,
"Could be on the same bed on radio."
Better be careful what you say, Alan. Goldman will do a book on you.
Maturity does that to you. And I said, "Hey, we don't have to go down. We had a basement studio," and I went back to bed. I went to sleep, and I woke up. I said, "Wait a minute! I didn't hear any wind. I didn't hear anything. What is he talking about? Transmitter." And I had an engineer who came, had a key to the house, and came in. So I put my robe on, walked downstairs, and I said, "Hey, we're not going on. The transmitter blew down." It was Bob and Ray who got my number. And you know how they can sound just like whatever they want to sound like? He sounded like an engineer that I just knew it was an engineer. And he called me an hour before, and they said, "Well, we'll tell him it blew down and he won't go on." And it really nearly happened. And then I didn't know who did it. I didn't know. And later they couldn't stand it, so they called and they told me who it was. It was really brilliant, though. We darn near stayed in bed and didn't come down at all because of Bob and Ray. Fact is, Clavin and Finch went on a half hour after Bob and Ray, and I went on after Clavin and Finch. And so I was driving down that time. That was before doing it up in Harris, and I'm listening to Bob and Ray. And Bob and Ray says, "Hey, your brother-in-law, the one with all the tattoos on his body, is he still married to your sister?" And says, "No. Why?" "Well, she divorced him." "Why?" "Well, she'd seen the picture." Okay, so that's one time. Then I switch over after the news and to Clavin and Finch, and Clavin says to Finch, "Hey, is your brother the one with all the tattoos over his body?" Does the same joke. He'd been listening to Bob and Ray too. I got on and said, "I'm going to tell you a joke. It's been told on 2 different stations this morning already." So now I told the third joke. It was much more camaraderie then too. By the way, I'd leave at 9 o'clock and go over and spend the last half hour at NEW with those two guys, and so it's a different kind of radio.
Let's go to our telephones now and say hello to Larry King, who has joined us
Hey,
this
Larry!
afternoon.
He's going to be on WNEW, I think.
With us in the studio is Ted Brown is here, and Cousin Brucey is here, and we have just a who's who of radio broadcasting in the studio. And Larry King, I'm glad you could be with us.
Thanks, Alan. I'm glad I could be with you, too. I'm talking to you from Midway Airport in Chicago, where I just was the MC of the Chicago Radio Broadcasters Annual Windy Awards. They just give out their awards for the best in radio. And I wanted to in fact, they were talking about this today. Someone said it's at 5, is it 5:30 today?
Yeah. 5:30 is the time that WNBC ceases to exist.
Yeah, someone mentioned, I think the general manager of WBVM, I was talking to him through his interpreter. All general managers should deal with interpreters. He mentioned that at 5:30 today, there's never going to be a WNBC.
There'll be not only not a WNBC, there'll be no radio broadcasting from 30 Rockefeller Plaza. Think about that for a moment.
Is Cousin Brucey there?
Yes, he is.
Well, he's got the money. What if we rented space? Why can't we take WNBC as a call letter?
Larry, I'll tell you what. Where are you going to be tonight at 8 o'clock?
I'll be at the CNN studios.
I'll call you.
Okay, we make a deal. We'll let Colmes go to work first.
Well, listen.
So why can't someone use WNBC, by the way?
Well, because NBC owns, they have not sold the rights to the call letters along with the station, and they're going to retain rights.
I thought with this FCC, which is really come as you are, anyone can take, there's a WJFK call letter in Washington.
I was thinking, how's it sound, WNBC, Little Rock?
Yeah, that's right. Why can't a station in Little Rock take it?
Yeah. You never worked at WNBC. I know you grew up in New York, though, and certainly listened to this station, and you are so much a part of what radio is now that I wanted to have you with us. And maybe you can reflect for a moment about the history of NBC Radio and what it's meant to you growing up in Brooklyn.
I remember when it was, WEAZ?
EAF.
EAF. Well, that's when I first heard it as a kid. It was WEAF, and it was the Red Network and the Blue Network, and I guess EAF was the Blue Network. And, NBC split off.
Right.
ABC was eventually a split off of that, wasn't
Right,
it?
ABC was the Blue Network, and this was the Red Network.
EAF was the Red Network, and it became WNBC when?
In, do we have the dates? Do we know exactly the date? It was WNBC twice. Then it became WRCA for a few years in the 50s and came back to WNBC in about 1961.
Okay, now I remember when I left to go to Miami to break into broadcasting, it was WRCA.
Right.
So I never lived with it as a citizen of New York as WNBC, but I remember it as a mainstay of the early network days of radio when we would listen for the Monday night and Tuesday night in Lux Radio Theaters, and all those programs would come beaming down. Well, I always was puzzled as to what EAF meant. It was a call letter that never made sense to me. I never understood it, but it was a call letter I grew up with. And it was, it's part of my history. I think anything that goes away, especially in this case, because you got an entity going away.
Sure, it's
not just a caller.
This is not just another radio station changing owners. This is a corporate entity that has been the bedrock of the radio business. What do you think about the people who are talking about the demise of AM radio, and is that overstated?
Well, it might be. I think it depends on where you are. It's interesting because in Chicago, one of the hot stations is a station I'm on here, is called The Loop. And WLUP was WCFL. I mean, WCFL is a 50,000 watt, 1,000 on the dial. Mutual couldn't make a go of it. They sold it. It was a religious station. And then WLUP FM bought it. And what the guy did was take his top personalities off the FM station, who were number 3 in the market, and put them on in drive time AM. Gave them a piece of the station, which is unheard of. And they're now the hottest station in Chicago is an AM station. And they're called The Loop. And if you say The Loop now, people think AM because they took the major personalities and put it on AM. And this guy named Joe DeCastro is the general manager. So he would be an unusually creative guy. At the recent radio conference, all the discussion was that all AM will be is sports. The owner of WFAN was
Jeff
one of the more discouraging about AM radio. I got the impression from him, we did a panel show, that he was a little sorry he got into it.
Are you discouraged about it?
No, because I think I just have it unique. I think I just have a unique place that AM radio, the one thing they all agree on that AM will do well is talk. And it's the one thing AM can do well is bring information and talk. So in every market, there will be always an all-news talk station. So there's always a place for it. The problem is, how do you get people to come to it? Like my daughter is going to be 21 years old. I would bet she has never heard an AM radio station.
Yeah.
Except if she listens to my show someday.
Well, hopefully
she has no idea what AM is.
Hopefully when the FCC approves one system for AM stereo, will sound as good as FM, and there'll be less disparity between the way the two bands sound. Larry, thank you for taking a few moments out to talk to us on the historic day. And
Alan, best of luck to you. Best of luck to everybody. And Brucey, I'll hear from you tonight at 8. We hire Colmes. We make a go at it.
Brucey just walked out to do an interview with Roger Grimsby, but we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Good luck, Alan.
Larry King, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3:37 at WNBC.
Alan Colmes. Things are getting a little tight here at Grassi Cadillac and Oldsmobile. We have too many 88 Oldsmobiles and Cadillacs, and the 89s are pouring in. So if we don't move a lot of cars in a hurry, we won't have the room to breathe. That's why Grassi is offering the most dramatic discounts in their 16-year history. Right now, you can breathe a whole lot easier at Grassi, with savings up to $4,000 on leftover 88 Oldsmobiles and up to $5,000 on leftover 88 Cadillacs. So if things have been a little tight for you, hurry to Grassi, the largest Cadillac and Oldsmobile dealer from Fairfield County to Manhattan. You'll breathe easier with our most dramatic discounts of the year on every remaining 1988 model, plus special introductory savings on every new 1989 model now on display. Remember, for the lowest bottom line price, there's only one man to see. Grassi Cadillac and Oldsmobile in Greenwich, 53 West Putnam Avenue, off Exit 3 on the Connecticut Turnpike.
Item: 4 months ago, the cost of living plummeted in Middle Village, Queens. Item: 3 months ago, the cost of living fell dramatically in Spring Valley, New York. And now in North Brunswick, New Jersey, the cost of living has reached an all-time low. Why now? What's going on? What's happened to reduce the cost of living? Simple. In each of those places, Pergament has opened up a giant new warehouse home center offering the lowest prices on everything for your home. You've got to see it to believe it. The cost of painting and finishing your house just fell because Pergament is offering leisure time spray paint in all popular colors for just $1.89 and a gallon of CWF clear wood finish for only $14.99. Nobody but nobody beats these prices. So check out our ads, check out our circulars for the guaranteed lowest prices in town. Then come in for our giant sale. You'll shop with confidence, knowing that at Pergament you get everything for your home at the lowest prices.
Book 'em, Sarge. Another peeping Tom.
I was just looking at their Anderson windows.
Listen to this nut. Goes to the Brown's house, asks to see the Andersons.
Now you can look through the windows in some of the finest homes in the area without risking public embarrassment. Interstate and Lakeland Lumber's new Anderson Window Showroom at 31 Purdy Avenue in Portchester features full-sized architectural displays of Anderson Window's most popular models. For over 65 years, successful builders and homeowners have come to Interstate and Lakeland for the finest products and services. No wonder we've become your headquarters for Anderson, America's best-known name in quality windows. Our wide selection, competitive prices, and helpful sales staff make it easy to pick just the Anderson window you need. We even offer immediate delivery. So feel free to look through the windows in some of the area's finest homes.
Sorry.
In the safety and comfort of Interstate and Lakeland Lumber's new Anderson Window Showroom at 31 Purdy Avenue in Portchester. We're your Anderson Window headquarters.
And now, add age through the ages. The year is 1758.
And you, sir, are?
Caleb Josiah Smith, town crier extraordinaire.
Well, you have a very nice voice.
That's what you need in this media game, and here's what else you need.
Ooh, advertising age.
I used to yell 7 o'clock and all's well.
Oh, no sponsor?
And no bucks. Then my company ran a campaign in ad age. I said, hey, Mr. Agency Person, now's the correct time for your product to make a big noise.
And the results?
Ad age gets through to more advertising people and more of the top people in the ad community. Clients poured in.
So what do you yell now?
It's 7 o'clock and all's well at Jebediah's House of Powdered Wigs.
Much better.
Stay tuned next hour for news headlines brought to you by Cobblestones or Us.
Well, sounds like ad age really did the job.
Hey, there's only one thing that can stop me now.
Ooh, what's that?
Laryngitis.
Ad age, where advertising lives.
Paul Bunyan?
You want to step to your left a couple feet? Thanks.
I guess all this street shopping really works up an appetite, huh, big guy?
Righty-o. In fact, right after I level Wisconsin here, I'm going to drop by the International House of Pancakes for breakfast.
For pancakes?
For the whole menu.
Oh.
6 or 7 of those big International House of Pancakes 3-egg omelets, dozen waffles, blintzes, crepes. You know they got more variety at breakfast than Minnesota's got lakes.
And those pancakes?
Lots of them.
So you'd recommend the International House of Pancakes for good food and lots of it?
Well, let's just say it beats the egg off one of those wimpy little fast food biscuits.
Nicely put.
Yeah.
Say, babe, how about a thick, juicy steak and eggs?
Oh, you don't want to go teasing the babe.
All right.
Now get an all-American country ham and egg special, including orange juice, hash browns, their famous buttermilk pancakes, all for $3.99. Served Monday through Friday at the IHOP nearest you. The traffic is brought to us on WNBC by, make sure I say that clearly, by 9X Mobile Communications.
Hi, this is Don Cricky. Here's why you should have your mobile phone installed at a 9X installation center.
3 hours? Harry's Phones on Wheels can do it in an hour.
Sure, but we fit our mobile phones to you, not the other way around.
You mean 9X does a custom installation?
Absolutely. Look, reach out with your hand.
Yeah.
Is that where you be picking
We
up
make
the-
sure your antenna is mounted correctly, put the transceiver where you want it, tuck wiring under carpets and moldings, and hook up the power to your battery, not your fuse box, for safety and better reception. 9X gives you a custom installation and full warranty protection.
Wow, what's that thing?
Our electronic test unit simulates actual calling conditions on your mobile phone and will give you a printout of your phone's performance.
Visit your authorized 9X dealer today and get your mobile phone custom installed at a 9X installation center. Call 1-800-443-BELL or look for us in the 9X Yellow Pages. For mobile communications, the answer is 9X.
And now here with the latest from the WNBC Traffic and Trans Network is my very good friend and colleague and a cherished companion on the air, Judy DeAngelis.
Aw, thank you. If you're traveling through Queens and Brooklyn, the northbound BQE extra slow from Atlantic Avenue to the Brooklyn Bridge, and again from Flushing Avenue to the Williamsburg Bridge. It's due to a disabled tractor trailer blocking the right lane. Volume becomes sluggish once more between the Kosciuszko Bridge and the LIE. Outbound Holland Tunnel, a 10-minute delay. Outbound Lincoln Tunnel, no reported tie-ups, no reported problems either at inbound both tunnels and as well as the GWB. Outbound Queens Midtown Tunnel, about a 15-minute delay. Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, a 5 to 10-minute outbound delay. Outbound Brooklyn Bridge, extra slow across the span, and the Manhattan Bridge is heavy but moving both ways. And we will be back in 20 minutes with more traffic and transit.
What did you hear, Judy, her last newscast on the station and the emotion?
WNBC.
The emotion, that was, I could hear everything you were feeling.
I have holes in my tongue from where I bit on my tongue to keep from crying. That's
Really?
true.
Yeah.
I mean, when you really just, get that choked up, but...
You ever get choked up about a radio station, Ted?
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
I have, sure. And many times. I've been choked by a radio station too many times.
I don't know why. I knew it was a straight line, and Ted Brown took it and hit a home run. Ted Brown is with us. Ted is one of New York's. He is a seminal influence in New York radio. He is one of my early heroes. I listened to you, and I used to emulate you. I used to, you did a kind of radio, and you've evolved, of course, over the years. But remember, at the time, you had a smile in your voice all the time, and you were
I remember that.
and you were so important and influential to me.
I don't know about you. Talk to most guys, and they say they worked in here, they worked that station, this station, that station. I came to New York just to visit. I had never been here, and I came walking down Broadway. I see a sign that says 1440 Broadway, WOR. Had nothing to do, and I walked up there and auditioned, and I went back to the hotel, some hotel on 8th Avenue I was staying, and they called me and they said, "You've got the job." And so I said, "Got what?" I didn't know what he's talking. They said, "You've got the job on WOR." And I said, "Wow." And I quick turned on WOR. And I hear a guy botching up a newscast. You don't believe how bad he was. And he said, "John Gambling speaking." I said, "Goodbye, John Gambling. I'm taking your place." Do you know, and this is the truth, you couldn't even say hello to John Gambling unless he gave you some kind of signal or sign that he wanted you to say hello. That's how strong that man was at OR.
Well,
and then I stayed ever since.
Yeah, I was reading a book recently about Howdy Doody.
That's right.
I had no. Do you know about his? He was Buffalo.
Buffalo Bob will be with us later.
I know,
on
that's what reminded me.
I was Bison Bill.
He played Bison Bill for a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
That must have been unbelievable.
It was crazy. It was marvelous.
Well,
fact is, I was doing a show on NBC radio. It was the #1 rated show at 12 noon. It was a quiz show. It was a show. What was it called? I forget. But anyway, it was just before the McCarthy hearings, and it went off because preempted and never came back. But it was for Colgate, and during I'll never forget it. During one of the taped 3 of them, in a row, and after the second one, we had these girls with the sweaters and and we're taking bows to applause. And as she was bowing, she said to me, "Of course, Bob Smith had a heart attack." I said, "Yes, applause. And they're looking for someone to take over until he gets better." I said, thank you. And I called my agent, and I went and I auditioned. and by golly, I did it for about a year and a half as Bison Bill. It was really a crazy show.
I hope you'll be here later when we talk to Buffalo Bob.
We'll see. Listen, he's got stories unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really
Cousin
great.
Brucey is with us today. Joe McCoy, who was with the CBS FM, and gave Brucey a big break when he needed one to come back to the station.
Here this poor man was sitting out there owning radio stations and not knowing how good the life was behind a microphone. And, we went out there to talk to Brucey, and we tried to talk him into doing if you can believe this, a man who probably doesn't have to work in radio, but to come to CBS FM and work every Saturday night live to do 7 to midnight. Well, he looked at me, I guess, like I was crazy. But he said, "I'll tell you what, I'll do one show a month for you." So I figured, okay, I'm in dire straits, one show a month, and I'll build around Cousin Brucey. And I think eventually what happened was Brucey got the fever. How long were you out of radio, if you will, off the air in New York when I came out?
For about
5, 6 years?
6 years, Bob Silverman and I owned radio stations, right?
He went from Marconi to Silverman.
That's right. So he was playing program director out there, national sales manager, local sales manager, and did the remotes out in Jersey.
But Joe, now you are actually in line of you are his boss.
He is.
Right. So how did you go and tell Cousin Brucey what to do?
Well, very simple. He sits in my lap.
I have a Louisville Slugger that was willed to me by Mickey Mantle, and I tell Bruce, actually he's a very easy person to work with. Sometimes I will say things to him jokingly, and he will say, "You're really serious, aren't you?" And I will say, "Yes, I am, Bruce. The commercial is 60 seconds. It's not supposed to go 75." And
but he promised me a talk show, I said.
Yeah. On the phone right now is Marv Albert. Marv Albert.
Hey, Marv.
Hi, Marv.
Thank you. So all my heroes are there, Alan. Thank you very much.
It's nice to have you with us. You were part of the conversation station. You did a sports talk show here. You were sports director of WNBC. And I don't know if I feel comfortable up talking to sports people today. But you were a big part of this radio station.
Well, that was early 70s when the Knicks and the Rangers actually went from WHN. So we've gone full circle. It went from WHN to WNBC, and then, of course, it will be back at WFAN, and I hosted a nightly telephone talk show along with doing the games.
What are your special remembrances of WNBC?
Actually, my most memorable time was when the Knicks won the championship back in the 69-70 season. And because of conflicts with baseball, the fifth game of the Laker championship series, which was one of the all-time memorable games because that Willis Reed got hurt, and the Knicks went to 4 different centers against Chamberlain, and somehow with guys 6'5" and 6'4" playing at center, were able to beat the Lakers. And that game was farmed out to WHN, and rather to WNBC. And I can recall giving twice WHN station breaks on WNBC. That was it. But I tell you, the thing I remember most, because I'd always been a great listener of Long John Neville. To me, it was really more off the air in that I was on at night, and I was able to spend a lot of time talking with Long John, who was a great man. I think I have more memories of that than anything else, over the 4 years.
Well, you mentioned the man who, more than anybody else here, was my hero and who represented to me what talk radio is all about.
Yeah, he was a fascinating guy, and it was, to me, it was a very precious time just, talking to the guy, off the air and spending so much time with him.
Was he a different man that you got to know off the air than the one that we got to know on the air?
He had that sense of mystery on the air, and he really had a great sense of humor, and he was a very, very funny guy. He was a practical joker. You would not expect that from him, and of course he had so many interests. He was so widely interested in so many areas. Just a very, very special guy.
Well, Marv, I'm very sorry that after you left WNBC, things didn't go very well for you.
Well, these things, it was Ted Brown who steered me in the wrong way.
Hey, Marv, I went on live at 5 and I missed the great day. I was just one day behind. I wish I had been there when it happened the day before, but they told me about it, and I congratulate you. I went on, and the night before, Marv killed his barber, and I wish I had been there because it's one of the great moments in radio and television.
Ted's still getting mileage out of the same line he uses every time. It's unbelievable.
Hey, Marv.
Yes.
This guy's Marv and I worked on News Center 4 together for many, many years. And let me tell you, I was watching you out of the games, and everything was true. You're the only person I understood.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm still in Seoul. I've become a Seoul citizen.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's called a soulmate, we call that here in the city.
Yeah, it was, from a professional point of view, it was a great, we were there for 4 weeks. But you really have a sense of appreciation for getting back into this country. It was very nice to leave, I must say. It was very hairy at times particularly where we were during the boxing competition. There was some very nerve-wracking moments, but it was a great experience to be able to be there and do it, though.
Marv has had a son when I knew him, one son, and they wanted other children, and they had them, of course. And I went down to Florida for the Super Bowl game, and we had to leave some tickets. Now, you think Marv Albert, who was he was then the best and still is the best hockey play-by-play man in the world. The great triple overtime he did and didn't repeat himself once. I mean, he is really phenomenal. And I was in awe of him in a way. Not too much, but in a way. And I had to go up to his room. I walked into his room, and it was a joyous moment for me because I knew he was human. It was the wildest, craziest, dirtiest looking room you ever saw in your life. That kid had all the clothes on the floor. It was just not a star's room,
Well, we had just beaten up our son.
Now he's big enough to beat you up.
Oh, no question. Yeah, no, he's a junior at NYU, and yes, he remembers that day. He had a little wrecking job going, and Ted happened to walk into the room. I think you were asking for tickets again. Was that it, Ted?
Yeah, something like that, Marv. But the thing I love about Marv and his family is from even then, Bonita came to all the games, and then when Kenny was old enough, he was sitting there. They would all sit there because Marv was always afraid that there wasn't going to be applause, so he knew he had 2 people there that would make some noise.
Well, Marv, I'm glad you're producing sons. We need more Alberts in sportscasting. And,
well, Steve, have you talked to Steve? Oh, they're not eligible. They were not on WNBC.
Right.
That's right.
Marv, thank you very much for being with us today. You really are a part of WNBC history.
Thank you. A pleasure, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Marv Albert.
Yeah.
Bye, Marv.
Guys. Bye-bye.
3:54 WNBC.
66 WNBC.
When Sears brings you a value like this, we call it a great item.
Imagine a 19-inch cable-ready color TV with on-screen readout of time and channel, 17-key remote control, precise quartz tuning, and more. Now imagine all that at a price like this, just $258. You save $91. Right now, Sears can bring you a TV with all that for $258, only through Saturday. Look for Sears' Great Item stamp of approval, now at Sears.
Hi, I'm Dick Cavett. If you know your PC from your WP and your DP, then Norell Temporary Services needs you for their NPDP. That's Norell's Pro Development Program. You're going to get $3,000 worth of advanced training, which will make you a Norell Pro. That means you'll get top assignments, make embarrassingly large sums of money, and have the entire world begging for your autograph. But only if you call Norell Temporary Services right now. So what are you waiting for? Here's a quarter.
British Airways wants me to tell all you globe-trotting Americans that it's high time to take off on one of their superb European holidays. Now 10% off for a limited time. What a perfectly splendid offer, I said. The British Isles wreathed in golden harvest light. Europe replete with echoes of the ancients. Yes, charming, they said, but what in fact we've got to communicate is that British Airways has hundreds of flexible European land arrangements at 10% off. London, Paris, Dublin, Rome, 10% off. Theatres, hotels, transport, 10% off. Well, I'm pleased to report that we've reached a compromise. For hard facts and figures on British Airways holidays at 10% off, call your travel agent or 1-800-876-2200 right now. However, for 10% off a radiant European sojourn, call 1-800-876-2200 at a quiet moment when inspiration tugs at your sleeve, and not a moment sooner. You must book and pay for your holiday by October 31st. Other significant restrictions apply.
Guess what we're having with lunch? Want a hint? It's warm, satisfying, delicious. And best of all, it makes us feel good.
Campbell's Tomato Soup. Just the thing to have with lunch when you want to start the afternoon right.
Good. That's what Campbell's soups are. Good.
You'll find all your favorite Campbell's soups at your local Grand Union. Be sure to stock up on Campbell's soups from Grand Union because Campbell's soup is good. Grand Union has it all. Low prices, high quality, friendly service. This week, save on Red Dot specials like Campbell's Tomato Soup, 10 and 3/4 ounce can, a low 3 for 99 cents. Scott Towels, 124 count roll, only 69 cents. And Duncan Hines Cake Mixes, 18.5 ounce package, just 59 cents. Shop Grand Union today and save with our advertised and unadvertised Red Dot specials. Visit your local Grand Union today.
Pergament's got something to say about all this advertising you've been hearing for home centers. It seems every home center in the world is going around saying they have the lowest prices. Hogwash. 5 different home centers can't all have the lowest prices. Only one can have them, and that's Pergament, because of the buying clout and volume that Pergament's got. Nobody else can give you the 12-gallon wet and dry shop vac with portable leaf blower for only $79.99, or 60 33-gallon Ruffy's leaf bags for just $4.99. If you hear another radio or TV commercial for another home center claiming the lowest prices, don't believe them. Come to Pergament, especially now while they're having their giant sale. Shop with confidence. Pergament. Everything for your home at the lowest prices. We mean everything for your home at the lowest prices.
Dunkin' Donuts would like to invite everyone who really loves our coffee to experience it once again, only this time in a very different way, through your ears. We start by picking only premium coffee beans that are shipped in and freshly ground in each Dunkin' Donut shop just before brewing to release all the full, rich coffee flavor. Dunkin' Donuts regular coffee and Dunkin' Decaf are both always fresh because they're brewed every few minutes. And any coffee that sits too long for our taste, we pour down the drain. So for a cup of the finest coffee you can buy served with real cream, come to Dunkin' Donuts. Especially if you're on your way to get coffee that simply isn't as good as ours. Dunkin' Donuts, our coffee alone is worth the trip. Now at participating Dunkin' Donut shops, get our delicious fresh ground coffee by the pound and enjoy our famous blend of regular or decaffeinated coffee at home or at work.
It's an amazing day today for a little kid like me from Long Island who grew up listening to the station to have my radio heroes with me in the studio and on the phone, and we are going to be joined in the next half hour by Brad Crandall. Sandy Teller's here, Long John Nebel's sidekick for 21 years. Ted Brown is here, Cousin Brucey. Joe McCoy, who was here as a disc jockey on WNBC and now program director of WCBS-FM.
Brucey's boss, by the way.
Thank you for putting him in his place. And Mike Harrison is here as well. He is a radio analyst, a radio scientist, president of H&H Broadcasting, did mornings at WNEW-FM, worked as the original editor of Radio and Records, and then worked with Billboard magazine, helped redesign the magazine, did commentary for the magazine, and a good overview of where radio is going. We'll continue 4 o'clock at WNBC.
This is news from 66 WNBC, New York.
I'm Doug O'Brien. Here's what's happening at 4 o'clock. More testimony in the Bess Meyerson trial from the same clerk who spent a good part of the day on the stand yesterday. The clerk employed in Judge Hortense Gable's office said in his judgment the judge did take a special interest in the divorce of Andy Capasso. Now, the government charges that Meyerson hired the judge's daughter in exchange for reducing Capasso's alimony payments. What does robbing a bank get you? Well, 6 months in one White Plains court. A man convicted of robbing banks to support a $450 a day drug habit got 6 months. Judge Charles Bryant says he was easy on 23-year-old Joseph Hendrickson because he'd shown remorse and had apparently kicked his habit while in prison on another conviction. Looks like there'll be a deal on sludge dumping off the Jersey coast. The word is conferees from the Senate and House have agreed on a compromise that everybody can live with. Some new economic numbers this afternoon.
More of us were working last month. Civilian unemployment down 0.2 of a point to 5.4% of the workforce. Good news for one side in the election, according to economist Edward Yardeni.
The fact that the unemployment rate dropped and that job gains were impressive, all in all, probably helped the Republicans.
And Yardeni is with Prudential Bache. That unemployment report has sparked a big rally on Wall Street. Stocks are sharply higher in heavy trading. Dow Industrial's up 42.32 at 2,150.07 on a volume of almost 204 million shares. From the NBC Radio Network newsroom, Wes Richards.
Not an unsurprising situation in Connecticut on AIDS advertising, given what's already happened in New York and New Jersey. The state's new AIDS advertising campaign aimed at sexually active adults has instead fostered debate among Connecticut's religious leaders. On Monday, Roman Catholic Archbishop John Whelan criticized the ads, and yesterday 9 Protestant church leaders gave their blessing to the effort. WNBC News Time, 4:02.
Today's excitement cars demand exciting tires. Tires that can take high speeds without sacrificing handling. Tires that can meet the challenge of performance car demands. This is a job for a speed-rated tire like the H-speed-rated Cooper Cobra Radial GT, available at your local Cooper tire dealer. The tire experts at Cooper highly recommend the Cooper Cobra Radial GT because they're built on Cooper-designed, state-of-the-art, 2-stage equipment for precision placement of the tire component. And the H speed rating means the Cooper Cobra has sustained speeds up to 130 miles per hour in indoor wheel tests. So you get steel-belted radial construction for strength and speed rating for high performance all in one tire. The Cooper Cobra Radial GT H-rated, built by the people known for quality since 1914. You can understand why the folks at Cooper Tire are proud of the Cooper Cobra or any other fine Cooper product. They won't let you down on product or service.
This news sponsored by Cooper Tire. See Captain Frank, Jackie, or Dan at F&M Tire, 925 Route 22 in North Plainfield, New Jersey, or Art Kalin at Riley Tire and Auto Service, 616 Connecticut Avenue in Norwalk. From the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network, here's Judy DeAngelis.
Thank you, Doug. Northbound BQE very slow from Atlantic Avenue to the Brooklyn Bridge. Volume becomes bumper to bumper from the Brooklyn Bridge to the Williamsburg Bridge. Outbound Holland Tunnel, a 10-minute delay. Outbound Lincoln, no reported tie-ups.
WNBC Sports Game 3 of the National League Playoffs tonight at Shea. Ron Darling versus John Tudor. In the NHL, the Islanders play in Edmonton. WNBC weather cloudy and cool tonight, a low in the low 40s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and chilly with a 40% chance of light rain, high in the low 50s. On Sunday, partly cloudy and cool. Currently 54 degrees, and that's what's happening. I'm Doug O'Brien, WNBC News.
WNBC remembers 66 years of New York's most memorable radio.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
During our 66 years of broadcasting, we've covered the bombing of Pearl Harbor and the atomic destruction of Hiroshima, the Korean conflict, and the Vietnam War. But in 1971, it was WNBC that dropped a bomb on New York.
Automatic
Strictly Sunshine, Supreme to Jeannie Terrell. My name is Imus in the morning. It is 8:54 at WNBC, 6 till 9. We're at 66 in New York. This just in, a submarine has been commandeered off the coast of Warsaw, and the hijacker has demanded $500,000 and 2 parachutes.
Cleveland lost a legend, and New York gained the most unpredictable radio personality it had ever heard. But that was only the beginning. In 1973, the station really started to howl.
Oh, baby, finally got to the Big Apple. Really nice to be home. I want to say that right now. Round around your radios now, we're going to get down and know each other a little bit better. Gonna play some of those nice things for you here, you understand? Gonna rock and roll till midnight. Getting in here with the Rolling Stones. Tricky Mick playing lead mouth, you understand that? All right, Herbie. Stay with me, New York. Go rock and roll.
Soon after Wolfman Jack arrived, WNBC welcomed one of New York's premier radio personalities as he moved down the dial to 66.
Hello, everybody. This is your Cousin Brucey. I must say, a very, very excited Cousin Brucey tonight. We have so many things happening here. It's the first time, I think, another 13 years of broadcasting, and I'm just so pleased. I am so proud to be with NBC. It is sort of a culmination of a career. Every guy, I think, in radio wants to be with those beautiful call letters, NBC. And from now on, every night, 6 to 10 o'clock, and on Saturday, 8 to midnight, your Cousin Brucey will be here, and I'd like you to call your friends, talk to them, and tell them we're right here at Fantastic 66 NBC. Now, turn up NBC. Let the world know where we are. And they will. I promise you they will. Ladies and gentlemen, mark this down. The first record I'm to play here at NBC, my first choice, a friend's, a player. We're just starting. The excitement is here. Real radio has returned to New York. By the way, I got a beautiful telegram from Wolfman Jack. Dear Brucey, may you start things right with the light of goodness shining down on yourself. And you better know I is with you in spirit. Sign the Wolf.
Cousin Brucey, Wolfman Jack, and Imus in the Morning did more than just play music. They continued the legacy of entertainment and memorable personality that have been the hallmark of WNBC radio for 66 years.
WNBC 66 WNBC.
Pretty impressed with yourself, huh, Bruce?
Boy, I'll tell you something. I knew I sounded that good. McCoy would have gotten away with it that easy.
Let's go to our...
beautiful. Stop. Come on, don't
Bruce,
let's not get emotional here.
Bruce Morrow, Ted Brown, Joe McCoy is here, Mike Harrison of H&H Broadcasting, Sanford Teller of the Long John Nebel Show, Judy DeAngelis, of course, Bruce Leonard engineering the show, and on the phone is Brad Crandall.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Brad, you were the conversation station. You were the living, breathing eminence that was your conversation station, and you represented the state-of-the-art talk radio back in the 1960s.
Well, I got lucky.
How so?
Well, I didn't, when I first did that show, or that kind of thing in Toronto for Jack Can't Cook, I had never heard one. So I did one the way it made me feel comfortable. And that seemed to make it work. Whereas had I done it the way somebody had figured out was the best way to do it, I'd have probably died like a dog.
What did they tell you was the best way to do it that you decided wasn't the best way to do it?
Well, they wanted 3-minute calls, maximum. There are some people who aren't worth 30 seconds, and there are some who are worth 10, and you don't know until you say hello and listen for a minute, which you've got. And when you get one that's really got something to say, to cut them off because there's a potential portion of the audience, according to the surveys, that really aren't interested in that subject and much rather talk about dogs, I thought was just kind of insane. So that management and I had a sort of a running, bickering thing about this. But I was lucky. My program director was a reasonable, rational, intelligent man for an executive. And so we got along fine.
Was that Bill Swartz?
Yes.
Who I believe called our program director, Dale Parsons, just yesterday, and he was kind of the architect of the conversation station,
Yes,
wasn't
he built it.
Do you miss doing that?
He did it.
Brad, do you miss doing what you did in those days?
Oh, well, Lord, yes. I bore people to death out here sometimes. I will corner a guest or a friend or something, and I realize halfway through I'm suddenly doing the show again. I do miss it, but I also know I couldn't do it again. I would be quaint now.
Ted Brown wants to know where you are.
Brad, where are you?
Hey, Ted, that's you?
I know. I hear you on a lot of commercials, but I mean, where are you broadcasting now? In California?
I'm not doing any kind of staff work. I'm just doing straight freelance.
Oh, good.
And picking up time, you know, that sort of thing. I was talking about you the other day.
I was talking about you, too. I said every time that you didn't like the way things were going, you'd hit your head in the swimming pool.
You read that, did you?
That's right.
Also, to explain to somebody who never heard it, that stripper number.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Do you know how that started?
What's that?
I do a thing where I play the strip music, and I just sort of talk to the women, you know. And I didn't know this myself, but when one day I get a call, and a woman is saying, I'm watching Carol Burnett on CBS, I think it was, and she's telling how some of the characters sort of, you know, came to life. Mm-hmm. And she said she was driving in a car in the afternoon, and she heard this fella play the stripper music and scream into the ladies, and she said, wouldn't that be nice for that cleanup lady, you know?
Yeah,
she never mentioned the name, but there wasn't anybody else doing it, so I took it for granted that was it, you know? So I felt kind of nice that I sort of like helped her originate a character.
You ever send you a check?
Check, no. Hey, listen, we'd love to see you in New York. You ought to come back here.
I don't get loose very often, and, you know, it's a long ways back and forth. And with, you know, the kids to raise, and, you know, the family that started there, and I'm still raising them.
But you certainly did your job well here at NBC, that's for sure.
Brad, could you give us the patented sign-off that you did every night?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can even remember it after all these years. Until next time, when we will, as always, sit down right here next to the tracks. Open up a can of beans, watch the trains go by, and talk about this crazy world in which we live. This be Brad Crandall saying thank you and good night, my friend.
Hey. Brad, thank you for being with us today.
You know, as I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes.
So are we. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much. Brad Crandall, ladies and gentlemen, Brad Crandall. Nice. Let's say hello to Buffalo Bob Smith.
Hey, Alan.
Buffalo Bob.
Hey, Coyotes.
Guess who's Bob? With us in the studio is Bison Bill.
Oh, my God. How's my buddy Bison Bill?
All right, Bob.
This is a big thrill for me. It's a sort of a sad thrill, though, because I spent so many wonderful years there at WNBC. And many times with you on the show, Alan. I really enjoyed that, and I just wish you very, very well with whatever your next experience is going to be.
Thank you, Bob. Bob did the morning show here at WNBC before anybody even heard of Don Imus, or before Don Imus was born, probably. And it was in this building that, during that time, that the whole Howdy Doody cast of characters got created.
That's exactly right. 3A, we did, I did a show called Triple B Ranch Saturday mornings where Howdy was first born, and then, of course, we went to television.
Do you have some fond memories, some special memories of the morning show here at WNBC?
Oh, yeah. One time, Tex and Jinx followed me. And their producer would always slip into my control room and tell them who was going to be on the air, so I would give it a plug. Well, I lived in a little cubicle. You know, I got up at 4:30 in the morning. I did the show, and I did Howdy, and I didn't know anything but morning radio and Howdy Doody. I wasn't abreast of the time, shall we say. Well, I was doing a number, and Bill Patterson, my producer, put a slip. Dana Andrews, guest on Tex and Jinx. Give it a plug. So I said, well, while that last number was on, I was out in the hall. I got a drink out there, and I said, I met Tex and Jinx guest, Dana Andrews, and is she gorgeous? You'll love her. You got to watch this shit. It's just beautiful. You'll love Dana. I knew two Danas in my life. They were both girls, see.
Yeah.
The letters that I got were unbelievable. You dumbass. What? How dumb can you be? Another letter said, yeah, I'm glad you said that. My wife loves him, and I always thought he was a fag.
I bet that's a word you never use on Howdy Doody, Bob, huh?
No, we can't use that.
Yeah, you did?
No, we can't use it.
What are you going on the air?
Oh, no, we're on live, Bob.
Oh, that's all right. So was I.
This is just a side of Bob Smith I never experienced as a child, that's all.
I'm sitting here. I am shocked. I mean, it's one of my heroes. Bob, this is your cousin Brucey Buffalo Bob. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sure.
For all of our friends listening, where is Howdy Doody? Is he all right now? Where is he?
Howdy is marvelous. He's in my home in Florida. He's just wonderful. He looks so much better than I do after 4 years. I can't believe it.
Bob, it's so important to us that you be part of this, anybody's last WNBC show, and you must be as shocked as we all are that this dynasty will come to an end today.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Don't laugh. I was there when it was WEAF, and then it went to WRCA.
Right.
And then I went to WNBC. So I lived through 3 switches, as a matter of fact.
Bob will be at FAO Schwartz next week. You get a chance to go in and meet Bob, and I know you've got some Howdy Doody merchandise that is out on the market.
Yeah, but more important, we're having a big Howdy Doody look-alike contest.
Is that right?
And
Alan!
On
radio? Wait a minute.
Alan!
Wait a minute.
You got a new job, Alan.
Hey, you're in business, Alan.
He can't be in because it's just for kids from 6 to 12.
I see. I was thinking Ted Koppel.
Prizes, among them $50,000 credit toward plastic surgery. No, but seriously, I'm going to be there Saturday afternoon from 12 to 2, one of the judges, and then I'm going to be autographing until 4 o'clock. So I'll be there from 12 to 4.
Is that tomorrow or a week from Saturday?
No, that's a week from tomorrow,
okay.
The 15th, and the winner and his parents are going to have dinner with me at the Rainbow Room Saturday night. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, Bob, listen, will you call me at WNEW? We don't have to worry about calling here anymore.
Ted, tell you what I'll do, babe. Suppose I drop in and see either Thursday or Friday morning.
Very good.
Is that all right?
What, am I booking your guest now, Ted? Bob, thank you very much for being a part of this thing today.
Alan, I love you. Teddy, I hope to see you Friday morning.
Okay.
Thank you. Buffalo Bob Smith.
Buffalo Bob.
Buffalo Bob. On WNBC.
You want to know really about Buffalo Bob? When this is all over, come to me. I'll talk to you.
You have some pictures, Ted?
Oh.
It's 4:16. In a moment, I want to talk to Sandy Teller, for 21 years, the sidekick of Long John Nebel, and many of those years on WNBC. Let's do, we only have an hour, and has it gone this quickly?
Yeah, it's gone this
Has
quickly,
66 years gone this quickly?
Yep. And you don't look a day older.
Thank you very much. Bond's biggest, best ever Columbus holiday sale of sportswear, outerwear, furnishings is on right now with giveaway prices. The rule rather than the exception, men's full fashion, trend-setting, jacquard sweaters and fancy patterns and color combinations. Comparable value $40 each. Bond sale price $29.88, 2 for $50. Bond's flannel shirts, 100% cotton plaids in a great assortment of colors and styles. Comparable value $22.50 each, $15.88, 2 for $25. Down-filled reversible vests, you'll see them selling elsewhere for $60. Bond sale price $29. London Fog single-breasted all-weather raincoats with a zip-out warmer, compared at $155. Bond sale price $119. Acid-wash denim jackets, lots of leather trim, easily worth $150 and more. Bond sale price $69 in sizes from small to extra large. Great buys and lots more in every one of Bond's 15 stores. Stop early and shop early for biggest selection.
WNBC.
Xerox Copier sales office.
Which Xerox copier can I get 0% financing on?
Every one, sir, until December 31st.
Yeah, the most expensive one?
0% financing.
Yeah, what about the best-selling one?
Yeah, 0% financing on every one.
No tricks?
Huh.
What kind of 0% financing is that, anyway?
The kind you didn't expect?
Yeah.
Get 0% financing on any Xerox copier.
In New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, check your yellow pages for the Xerox office nearest you.
Hi, Evel Knievel here. Some say I'm the world's all-time greatest daredevil. You remember when I jumped my motorcycle over 51 cars in the Los Angeles Coliseum? Or the time I cleared a tank of hungry man-eating sharks in Chicago? That wasn't enough. The thing that really put the most fear in my heart, my greatest challenge, was in 1974, when I tried to jump the treacherous Snake River Canyon in a sky cycle. It made the Guinness Book of World Records, and I'm real proud of it, 50 or so broken bones later. But I'll tell you what I wouldn't do, is pull a stunt on a subway or a bus, like riding between cars, or jumping from one car to another. No way, man. And you won't catch me jamming stuff between the doors. It's not like an elevator. Those doors mean business. You take it from a daredevil. Me, Evel Knievel. Some stunts are just plain stupid.
This important message brought to you by the New York City Transit Authority.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new General Motors warranty.
Bumper to bumper, bumper to bumper, bumper to bumper, bumper to 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 bumper.
The new Bumper to Bumper Plus warranty. GM is the only American manufacturer to cover all the parts of all our 89 cars and light trucks for 3 years or 50,000 miles. Parts, labor, and towing, top to bottom, inside and out, A to Z. Bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper to bumper. Bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper.
Tires are covered by the tire maker, and there's a $100 deductible per visit after the first year or 12,000 miles.
Bumper to bumper.
See your Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, or GMC truck dealer for terms of the Bumper to Bumper Plus limited warranty. Only from GM.
Things are getting a little tight here at Grossi Cadillac and Oldsmobile. We have too many 88 Oldsmobiles and Cadillacs, and the 89s are pouring in. So if we don't move a lot of cars in a hurry, we won't have the room to breathe. That's why Grossi is offering the most dramatic discounts in their 16-year history. Right now, you can breathe a whole lot easier at Grossi, with savings up to $4,000 on leftover 88 Oldsmobiles and up to $5,000 on leftover 88 Cadillacs. So if things have been a little tight for you, hurry to Grossi, the largest Cadillac and Oldsmobile dealer from Fairfield County to Manhattan. You'll breathe easier with our most dramatic discounts of the year on every remaining 1988 model, plus special introductory savings on every new 1989 model now on display. Remember, for the lowest bottom line price, there's only one man to see. Grossi Cadillac and Oldsmobile in Greenwich, 53 West Putnam Avenue, off exit 3 on the Connecticut Turnpike.
Pergament's got something to say about all this advertising you've been hearing for home centers. It seems every home center in the world is going around saying they have the lowest prices. Hogwash. 5 different home centers can't all have the lowest prices. Only one can have them. And that's Pergament. Because of the buying clout and volume that Pergament's got. Nobody can give you Clairson 5-foot closet organizers at our price. They're easy to install and come with white vinyl-coated ventilated steel shelving. All the hardware is included, and they're only $17.99. If you hear another radio or TV commercial for another home center claiming the lowest prices, don't believe them. Come to Pergament, especially now while they're having their discount sale. Shop with confidence. Pergament. Everything for your home at the lowest prices. We mean everything for your home at the lowest prices.
The traffic on WNBC is brought to us by 9X Mobile Communications.
Only 9X subscribers who have 832-channel mobile phones can take advantage of the extra 5 megahertz of cellular service 9X is adding. That's 25% more calling capacity for 9X subscribers. For mobile communications, the answer is 9X.
Check in with Judy DeAngelis to get the latest from the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network.
Thank you very much, Alan. Northbound BQE very slow now from Atlantic Avenue to the Brooklyn Bridge. Volume then becoming bumper to bumper from the Brooklyn Bridge to the Williamsburg Bridge. It's all due to a disabled tractor-trailer. It is blocking the right lane. If you're heading up to the George Washington Bridge, northbound Harlem River Drive very slow from the 140s. Northbound Major Deegan Expressway is packed from the Triborough Bridge. Westbound Route 287 in Westchester County is slow approaching the New York State Thruway. Northbound on the Thruway, traffic very slow from Route 287 to the Tappan Zee Bridge. Volume continues sluggish through exit 11. Outbound Holland Tunnel, a 10-minute delay. Outbound Lincoln Tunnel, no reported tie-ups, and there are no reported problems inbound at both tunnels or at the GWB. And I'm just sitting here realizing that I'm across from legends of broadcasting, and it just makes me feel
Did she just call us lechers?
I'll tell you what I was thinking.
We'll be back in 20 minutes.
Listen, listening to you, I thought to myself, you people were innovators. NBC was the first to bring young ladies like this in to do the news and do traffic traffic with a certain flair and a certain style, and now everybody's doing it, really. So you were first here. Personality women,
Thank you. That's very nice.
And let me introduce the people in the studio. Some of them I don't even. There are people here today I've never seen before in my life. I don't know who they are. Judy DeAngelis, of course. Mike Harrison with H&H Broadcasting. He is one of the pioneers of progressive rock. Founded the term AOR. Created that term. He went on to work and helped redesign Billboard magazine. The original editor of Radio and Records. Now president of H&H Broadcasting. Syndicator with the Good Phone Communications. Also with us we have Ted Brown, who worked here at WNBC, now at WNEW. Bruce Morrow, cousin Brucey.
My hero.
Who is, of course, a large part of WNBC's history. Joe McCoy of CBS FM now, program director. And a man to whom Judy will be speaking right after the broadcast.
Yeah, but he has to go home this week.
Do we have it happen in Hollywood, Elena? Do we have the Happen in Hollywood card? I don't know if we have that. That maybe in my office.
You don't have that? Oh.
We may not have time for it. It's rather long, but that 6 minutes is the quintessential Long John Neville, and the man who has become a very dear friend of mine because of a tribute show we did to Long John a couple of years ago, was for 21 years Long John's sidekick and fellow panelist, and his name is Sandy Teller.
Well, first of all, I've got to tell you, and I mean this, it's going to sound gratuitous, but I think John would be proud of you, what you've done in radio. You never met John.
Never.
And I remember the number of years I was with John here at this station. By the way, by Culvinator. I was at this station with John from 1963 to 72. Every Saturday night, we would spend 5 or 6 hours just sitting around, reading the Times, taking phone calls, doing shtick. He was, I think, the originator of all-night controversial, not confrontation so much, broadcasting, but did more shtick, did more shows with people from Venus. In fact, probably the chair you're sitting in was occupied once by a man named Buck Nelson. Buck was abducted by Venusians somewhere near, I think it was the Carteret transmitter when he was at another station, and came back with a 900-pound Venusian dog. And John wanted to have the dog on the show. Unfortunately, the dog died of a heart attack. But Buck Nelson came on John's show and tried to sell hairs from the dog for $5 a piece. And this is what you've succeeded. And when you started on this station, you started doing, in effect, John's all-night show. And
it was a mitzvah.
If I knew what that meant, I would say. And again, I must say, sharing your joy of inheriting the man. No, this was one of the biggest thrills of your life, to follow somebody you've never met, somebody who was a pioneer, somebody who was also, to use a word I don't understand, mishigas, had a lot of that too, and a lot of turmoil in his life, and yet was more dedicated to all-night radio, and in fact, I think invented all-night radio. He started doing an all-night show by himself out in Carteret, New Jersey, at another station, and in fact would do two-way phones without two-way phones. This is before they invented the 7-second delay, so he would have the listener, the caller rather, he would repeat what the caller had said, paraphrase that, and that's how he started. He started doing that by himself, ended up doing this show here. I remember being on with John one night when some absolute maniac with a red, white, and blue, an American flag shirt from Cleveland, a guy named Imus, appeared here one night. And we still have that picture. And John, with the generation gap, was trying to figure out why they hired this character.
How did John and Imus get along?
They didn't see much of each other, which I think was fortunate, because not that John had an ego, but it was they used the show to hype Imus that night, and John did so many of the wonderful pieces of business on this station, and one of them getting in trouble with NBC legal people. One night we were on a Saturday night. It was 95 degrees that day, middle of August. And at 2 in the morning, John and I started talking about the snow that was falling on 49th Street because of the cumulus and various invasion. And we just caught on, and in 10 minutes, we had 5 or 6 inches of snow on the ground. People from Rockland County called up, women worried about their husbands getting home from work at 3 in the morning. And this went on all night, and on Monday, John was called in and told never to do it. They invoked the War of the Worlds clause. And John, the other thing John wanted to do, and the NBC legal, again, prevented him from doing it. This is when the Metropolitan Opera had been torn down. The new one was built at Lincoln Center. everybody had talked about the old Met. The acoustics were so terrific. Ted may remember this. What John had arranged for is to set up. John had been a pitchman, a vaudeville pitchman, a carnival barker pitchman. John wanted to set up a stand in front of the NBC, in front of 30 Rock, selling in test tubes, little vials, the original acoustics from the Metropolitan Opera. But again, NBC Legal stepped in. But this was the kind of environment. John would take so long. His station IDs were 6 minutes. His commercials went on forever, and in fact, the FCC was not too pleased with that. John was an original.
Did John have a sense of how much of an original he was? And do you think he, up there beaming down upon us, because I know his spirit lives in this building, has any sense of what he has meant to me and who knows how many countless other broadcasters?
I don't think he could take compliments very easily. I think, or suffer fools, which is not to say either one of us. But I mean, John, John was a very cynical man. He had an 8th grade education, which he would use to entrap those with the advanced degrees from Harvard B School. I mean, he would, I'm just a country boy kind of a thing. No, John never had a sense of that. His life was the hot mic, the open mic that he had. He had, in fact, it was in this building that he taped his interviews with Malcolm X and the one with George Lincoln Rockwell, the Nazi party leader, which NBC Legal said you couldn't put on the air because it was too hot, too full of dynamite. John was a little peculiar in many ways too. In other words, remember him calling me at home one night from this station, saying he may quit. And I said, "Why would you quit?" He said, "They won't let me use the Xerox after midnight."
He was going to quit over
right. He was going to quit. So he had these idiosyncrasies. He also coined 2 words, which may mean not very little to the listeners who don't remember John, but to say someone was crazy, he came up with the term whack-a-ding hoy, which meant nothing. And the other one, which still sounds perfectly filthy to me, and I love, is up your hockey box.
Tell me the story about the night he decided to end it all.
It was right here. John was going to commit suicide, which was almost a weekly thing with John. I mean, John was very uptight about a medical exam that was going. It turns out it was a day late. He had a growth on his hand, which turned out to be, I guess, a hand version of a cold sore. But at that time, he was convinced he had terminal cancer. So what John did, he called a number of us at 2 in the morning and asked us to come in because he wanted to say goodbye. He was going to commit suicide. So we showed up, a number of people, including a couple of psychologists, Hannah and Milton Caput, one shrink was there, a couple of internists. I mean, John had a medical staff at his beck and call. And I happened to be on the show with him and was sitting with him, and he was saying, "Look, I'm ending it all. He said, I will see you. I can't wait for these people to get here." And so at that time, about 3 in the morning, John started to walk out. It was a warm day. He didn't need a jacket. And he was going to walk over to the West Side Highway and jump off the highway. Somehow commit himself. And as he started to walk out, he turned and said, "Wait a minute." And he took his Rolex off of his wrist. He says, "Hold this." He didn't want to get mugged on the way over to commit suicide. So that's the kind of guy he was. The other thing is that John engendered incredible loyalty because he built up a panel of, quote, ordinary people, an insurance broker,
Al Lotman,
a plastic surgeon, Dr. Joe Constantino, a printer, Gene Sanger. He had Bob Carson on. He had he had 2 or 3 science fiction writers. He had lawyers. John also had he was the only radio personality I know who had his dentist and urologist make house calls because he was always too busy during the day to take care, as he would say, take care of business, normal business. And John was a unique personality. I met my former wife through the show, which again I owe to John. Maybe not. And John was the father of my. Oh, look! Speaking of that little kid. Now, how old is that little baby? There's a little baby that came in.
That's my little girl.
That's your daughter.
She's 5.5 months.
Before we interview the youngest guest we've ever had on the show, I just want to wrap this up with about Long John. He was the quintessential broadcaster, a gentleman.
John was a gentleman. John was one of a kind. He was a gentleman. I opened. Just to refresh case anybody wanted to, I brought in a copy of the book.
Which is Donald Bain's book on Long John Neville.
Long John Neville, Radio Talk King, Master Salesman, and Magnificent Charlatan. John insisted putting the word charlatan on the book, and that's the way we want to remember him. He had a sense of humor. He didn't take himself that seriously. He took very few things seriously. And John, who died on April 10th, 1978, spent 9 years at this radio station. And at his funeral, I'll just sum it up this way, at the service at Walter B. Cook, a sightless, a blind woman was led over to meet me by her 8-year-old daughter. And she wanted to meet some of the people she had listened to over the years. And she said to me, "You will never know what John meant to people like myself. For us, he was our friend at night." And that's what John Neville represented to hundreds of thousands of people.
Thank you, Sandy, for helping us remember one of the most important broadcasters in WNBC's history, Long John Neville, and stick around.
Thank you, sir.
We are WNBC for the next, 55 minutes?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of a hush has come over the room, hasn't it?
You know what I would like to do? It is going to sound crazy. There's nothing I'd rather do than stay here and talk, but I want to do something I want to go home and listen. I want to let the station go out the way I always want to remember it, listening to it on the radio. And so if you don't mind, I'm a little sad right now.
How can I let you leave?
No. If you say no, I won't. But I would love to hear at my home the last moments,
Can we
the
all
harmonics
come
of the
too?
station.
Can we come with you?
Let's all go to Brucey's house. Come on, let's go.
You'll never get to Levittown by the time the show's over.
I'd really like to do that. Would you mind to do?
If that's what you want to do, and that's why you want to pay tribute, I'm just delighted to have had you here for the time you've spent and to have met you, because you were on my very first show on WNBC.
Right, that's right.
And to have you here and to have known you as I have for the last few years has meant a great deal to me. You are radio incarnate in New York City. Thank you for being
Alan,
here today.
you have become a friend, not only on the air but off the air. We have been very close to each other. I think you are an excellent talent. There's no doubt in my mind that you will be back on these airwaves, and we will be hearing your harmonics and your intelligence and your fun on New York radio very, very shortly. And I look forward to sharing microphones with you. But I want to go home and I want to listen to this.
Thank you.
I'm a radio fan. You see, you got to understand that. Cousin Brucey is a big fan of radio. So I have to do what I have to do.
Bruce, thank you for being here today. Cousin Brucey, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Moore and Joe McCoy, who is carrying Bruce's train.
The halo slip.
And let's see, Joe's got Bruce's bags, and we'll be leaving the studio with them.
Actually, Brucey just thought of a great money-making scheme, and that's why we're leaving it.
Yeah. These mics have been locked down.
Joe, very nice to meet you. Thank you for being here today. Joe McCoy, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to go home and listen to NBC 66 in less than an hour, because I want to hear them say scumbag for the first time. And that's what's going to happen when Pete Franklin comes on. He uses it all the time. And I've never heard it yet on NBC, but we'll hear it for the first time in an hour.
What a glowing tribute, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta leave this room. I cannot handle it.
Well, no, hey, I'm being honest. Hey.
Was Uncle Don on this station?
That's right.
Ted, you've been a major influence to me, and I'm sure many others, and it means the world to me to have a microphone to share with you this afternoon.
I must tell you something I think it's very appropriate that I can't want to say Donna. Judy. Because I work with Donna over at NEW. That Donna's baby is here, Judy's baby is here.
Is that your kid? Are you sure it's yours?
Right. Because I want to tell you, that baby represents the new blood that's going to happen around here, but also with you two, because I want to tell you, you are just brilliant. And if you're not, you got to take a vacation and enjoy it, because you're going to have a great job when you come back.
Thank you. Amen. Ted Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll take a break on WNBC.
Alan Colmes. Every day, it's like my family's on a merry-go-round. So whatever else I do, every day I make sure they eat right and get their one-a-day vitamins. It has all the essential vitamins and minerals they need. And now they've made one-a-day maximum formula even better with beta-carotene, the nutrient from fruits and vegetables that most of us don't get enough of. And isn't it just like one-a-day to give us more beta-carotene than any other leading brand? I think they did it just for us.
One-a-day, every day, 'cause your health is number one.
Thanks, Mom.
Jimmy Breslin just switched to New York Newsday from the Daily News.
I began to notice that New York Newsday was getting stories that no one else was going to have that day, and getting them by the only way you can get them, by walking, climbing, driving, roaming the landscape, and coming up with things that do not come from official sources. You're looking for completeness of coverage. There's no question that New York Newsday is the paper that's doing that the best, and I came for that reason.
Jimmy Breslin switched to New York Newsday. How about you?
British Airways wants me to tell all you globe-trotting Americans that it's high time to take off on one of their superb European holidays. Now 10% off for a limited time. What a perfectly splendid offer, I said. The British Isles wreathed in golden harvest light. Europe replete with echoes of the ancients. Yes, charming, they said, but what in fact we've got to communicate is that British Airways has hundreds of flexible European land arrangements at 10% off. London, Paris, Dublin, Rome, 10% off. Theatres, hotels, transport, 10% off. Well, I'm pleased to report that we've reached a compromise. For hard facts and figures on British Airways holidays at 10% off, call your travel agent or 1-800-876-2200 right now. However, for 10% off a radiant European sojourn, call 1-800-876-2200 at a quiet moment when inspiration tugs at your sleeve, and not a moment sooner. You must book and pay for your holiday by October 31st. Other significant restrictions apply.
A brief word from TWA and American Express about the word quality. These days, companies talk about quality so much that people in business may wonder what it really means anymore. At TWA, quality means we pay 30 people to fly with us as professional passengers. They're our quality control team, and they report directly to the chairman on what's good and what needs improving from a checklist of 140 service items. It's just one way we're working to give you the best service in the air. At American Express, quality means working to serve card members around the world and around the clock. For instance, if you lose your card, you can usually have it replaced within 1 business day. It's one reason frequent business flyers rate the American Express card the best for business travel and entertainment. But that's enough talk about quality. When you fly TWA and carry the American Express card, we think you'll find our service speaks for itself.
Ride with the wind when you're one with the road. You can feel every move, you're in control. Just a touch of the wheel and the power is yours. It's the look and the feel, the one that's for real. It's the new spirit, gotta be the spirit of Dodge. It's the new spirit.
There's a new spirit at your Dodge dealer. You'll see it in the wide range of Dodge quality cars and trucks we sell, and in everything we do. See your Dodge dealer today, where the new spirit shows.
It's the new spirit. The new spirit of Dodge. The new spirit of Dodge.
The WNBC Traffic and Transit Network comes our way in a moment, brought to us by 9X Mobile Communications.
9X Mobile, Lauren speaking.
9X Mobile, Leslie speaking.
9X Mobile, Glenn speaking. And Don Cricky speaking for 9X Mobile Communications. With our automatic call distributor, over 95% of our calls to customer service are answered on the first ring, with the remaining 5% answered within 8 seconds. But just as important as how quickly we answer you is how well we answer your needs.
I'd recommend the weekend plan for you, Mr. Carruthers.
Sure, you can use your mobile phone in Red Deer, Canada. I'll get the access code for you.
To activate call forwarding, Miss Fenster, press clear, now the star, and then...
You don't have to know all the answers because 9X customer consultants like Lauren, Glenn, and Leslie do. And if they don't, they'll get them for you. Call 1-800-443-BELL. That's 1-800-443-BELL, or look for us in the 9X Yellow Pages. For mobile communications, the answer is 9X.
And with the latest from the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network, here's Judy DeAngelis.
Thank you for reminding me, Alan. Northbound BQE very slow from the Gowanus Expressway to Atlantic Avenue, and again from the Brooklyn Bridge to the Williamsburg Bridge. A disabled tractor trailer has been cleared. Volume continuing to be slow approaching the Kosciuszko Bridge. Southbound side sluggish from Tillery Street to the Brooklyn Bridge, and once more between Atlantic Avenue and the Gowanus Expressway. Outbound Holland Tunnel and Lincoln Tunnel, 15 to 20 minute delays. Inbound at the Lincoln and GWB, a 15 to 20 minute tie up. Inbound Holland Tunnel, only a 5-minute wait. Obviously, that's your best bet. Outbound Queens Midtown Tunnel, a 15-minute delay. Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, a 10-minute outbound delay. Outbound Brooklyn and Manhattan bridges have heavy volume, but it is moving across the spans. We'll be back in 15 minutes with the last WNBC traffic.
Ooh, all right, this is the last.
Now, and actually, for a lot of people, they're going, "Yay, the last one!"
No,
finally.
I was applauding because I just think we should applaud. I think we should be joyous because I think that.
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And
Terrific
with
idea.
only 45 minutes left, just let me reiterate: you can't in 4 hours encompass a 66-year history. But we've had some wonderful people with us today. If you just joined us, this is WNBC's last day ever on the air. GE, the parent company, has disowned us and is getting out of radio broadcasting. We talked to Bill Cullen today, and Ed McMahon and Lee Leonard, and Cousin Brucey was here, Ted Brown, Big Wilson, Joe McCoy, Sandy Teller is here with remembrances about Long John Nebel. Bob Pittman, Larry King, who was not part of the station but is such a seminal influence in radio. Brad Crandall did his famous sign-off for us.
Oh, that was moving, I want you to know.
I was crying. Buffalo Bob Smith, and still to come, Bob Fitzsimmons, Wolfman Jack. With us in the studio, Judy DeAngelis. We have Mike Harrison of H&H Broadcasting, who is a owner of a broadcasting group. He is a radio analyst, a radio scientist. He is the founder of Good Phone Communications, which was one of America's leading radio syndicators, former morning man on WFAN, and a great radio mind. I can see Brucey and Ted Brown have left. They wanted to do it upright. They wanted to listen to it on the radio the last few minutes.
You can't do that.
No, I can't do that.
You stick
We're on delay. I can run out in here the last 7 seconds.
You'll hear the chimes. That's about it.
And joining us in the studio now, another former voice from WNBC, Bill Rock.
Should I do the ID?
Now do it the way you did it, okay?
Try to remember how I did that, actually. 50,000 watts clear channel. This is the flagship station of the National Broadcasting Company, WNBC, New York.
Yeah. Okay, Bill, now before we talk to you more in depth, let's say hello to the Wolfman, Wolfman Jack, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Wolfman.
How are you, man?
How are you?
Oh, just fine. I'm in between planes here.
You're in an airport? You're the second airport call we've had. Larry King was in an airport.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to say how sad I was that NBC's going. You know what I mean?
I do.
WNBC means a lot to me, man.
You were here, and Cousin Brucey just left. You were brought in to go head-to-head with Cousin Brucey back in the 1970s.
Yeah, you remember those days we planted a tombstone in front of WABC?
Yeah, we heard it. We talked about that.
And we beat him.
You beat Cousin Brucey?
Yes, we did. We won, and then Cousin Brucey came over and joined WNBC.
That's right. And did you and Brucey ever become friends, or was there some animosity between you?
No, I would have got him to join WNBC.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So you and he...
Who am I talking to right now?
This is Alan Colmes.
I thought somebody didn't know what the hell was going on. You know what I mean? Didn't know about that, man?
No, I did know about that.
Oh, I see.
And, of course, then your syndicated show was carried overnights on WNBC a few years ago.
Of course, I listened to WNBC when I was a little kid, too, you know?
That's right. Did you?
That's right.
You actually grew up in Brooklyn, is that right?
That's right. I used to sit on the radio every night when, there was somebody... Who was it? I can't remember now who was on the air then. Anyway, I'm going to miss WNBC, but one thing that's going to keep it around is Imus is still on the air, right?
Well, Imus will be joining the new company, which is WFAN, which is Emis Broadcasting.
Right.
NBC will be out of the radio business, and there'll be no more radio from 30 Rockefeller Plaza.
Is that right?
That's right. There'll be no more... NBC will have nothing more to do with radio on any level.
You're kidding. Well, they don't know what the hell they're doing, do they?
Well, I think you've summed it up, Wolfman. I think in a few words you've expressed the sentiments of some people in this room. You certainly are a big part of radio now and radio history and what WNBC has been, and I'm so glad you could share a few moments with us this afternoon.
Well, listen, I'm really sad about it. I mean, the NBC people really did a great job when they were doing it. I'm sorry they're getting out of the business. Does that mean they're out of the TV business and the radio business?
No, they'll be in TV, but they'll no longer be in the radio business.
Well, listen, man, I give my best to everybody. Say hi to everybody for me, and what can I say? I'm sad about it.
Wolfman, thank you very much for being here today, and thank you for all you've contributed to WNBC.
All right, baby. Bye.
Thank you, Wolfman Jack, ladies and gentlemen. The Wolfman.
He's on the cutting edge of the news, huh? This guy watches CNN, right?
Clap for the Wolfman.
I only wish you could have talked to somebody who knew what was happening. All right. We were talking
stereo radio.
That's funny.
Radio City Bill is here. Now, how did you take that? You took the name Radio City Bill.
No,
when you were
I was given the name. Actually, Bill Rock is my real name.
People would think that would be a great radio name, of course.
Well, it's interesting. I've had it changed many times. When I was in Pittsburgh, it was Sean Grabowski. When I worked at the old WWDJ, they called me Chuck Cooper. Then when I came here, I finally figured here I am at NBC in New York and finally used my real name. You know, my parents can know I'm still alive. And as it turned out, there was a program director named John Lund who stood there and towered over me as I was sitting there as a young fledgling disc jockey saying, "Bill, we're not a rock station, so we're going to call you Radio City Bill Rockefeller." And my name is in there if you look very closely. As soon as John left and I became program director, I changed my name to Bill Rock again.
You were the boss.
Yeah, for a while anyway.
And what are your current activities?
Well, I'm doing a show with the United Stations Radio Network nationally called Motor City Beat, and I'm also still at WYNY, which is what was the FM. It was WNBC FM. Then
at one time.
Then what was it?
Well, that became WYNY.
It became WYNY, but it was all news before that for the NIS. WNWS and WYNY. Yeah. And I also have my own production company. I produced a couple of television shows, and I do video for corporations and that sort of thing.
Well, Bill, thank you very much for coming by here today and stopping in to see us. And you are one of the great voices in the great history of this radio station.
Well, thank you. It's going to be very difficult not to be in this building, having come here 11 of the last 15 years and not see any radio. We're going to be across the street over there.
There's going to be a big
Broadway.
void on 2.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you very much, Alan.
Let me just have a word with Dan Taylor, because I got a bone to pick with Dan Taylor. Dan Taylor, wherever Dan Taylor goes, Emmis follows and buys the place and fires everybody.
Well, that's one of the jokes around here, that we knew two things about Jeff. He never liked country, and he didn't like the name Dan.
That's right. So you and I have known each other for many, many years, and I kid you a lot, but I want to tell you, behind that kidding is complete sincerity. So,
wait a minute.
But you are, of course, a current voice on WNBC, and I've worked with you in many different places, many different ways, and I'll miss being with you, because you are very good at what you do. You are a great disc jockey.
Well, I'm going to miss you too, Alan. I know a lot of people, say, gee whiz, you're always joking about Alan. Alan's always joking about you. You guys really don't get along, and as Alan was just joking before, we really do. We've known each other for about 11 years, I think, in the business, and you are one of my cherished true friends in the business.
Thank you,
I promise
babe.
the next radio station I work at, you won't be there, or I won't be where you are, because I won't. I don't want to jinx you or anything like that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Dan Taylor, who is a part of the current WNBC. And we'll come back. I hope we have some time to get to these telephones and talk to our listeners, because it is, after all, the listener for whom we exist. And we'll come back in a moment on WNBC.
66 WNBC.
When Sears brings you a value like this, we call it a great item. Imagine a 19-inch cable-ready color TV with on-screen readout of time and channel, 17-key remote control, precise quartz tuning, and more. Now imagine all that at a price like this, just $258. You save $91. Right now, Sears can bring you a TV with all that for $258, only through Saturday. Look for Sears' Great Item stamp of approval, now at Sears.
British Airways wants me to tell all you globe-trotting Americans that it's high time to take off on one of their superb European holidays. Now 10% off for a limited time. What a perfectly splendid offer, I said. The British Isles wreathed in golden harvest light. Europe replete with echoes of the ancients. Yes, charming, they said, but what in fact we've got to communicate is that British Airways has hundreds of flexible European land arrangements at 10% off. London, Paris, Dublin, Rome, 10% off. Theatres, hotels, transport, 10% off. Well, I'm pleased to report that we've reached a compromise. For hard facts and figures on British Airways holidays at 10% off, call your travel agent or 1-800-876-2200 right now. However, for 10% off a radiant European sojourn, call 1-800-876-2200 at a quiet moment when inspiration tugs at your sleeve, and not a moment sooner. You must book and pay for your holiday by October 31st. Other significant restrictions apply.
Introducing soup and sandwich combinations from Campbell's.
Super Combo, Super Combo.
Campbell's frozen Super Combo varieties, just for the microwave. It's good food fast, like tomato soup with a grilled cheese sandwich, or cream of broccoli soup with a flaky ham and Swiss cheese croissant, even vegetable soup with a cheeseburger. Campbell's new Super Combo, from the freezer to the microwave. Try all 8 varieties. Good food fast.
Look for the special 12-page color circular this week at your neighborhood Key Food store. You'll find great savings like Swanson Hungry Man meatloaf or Salisbury steak. The 10 3/4 ounce size, $1.49. USDA choice roast beef, bottom round, or chuck pot roast, $1.59 a pound. Also, California iceberg lettuce, large head, only 69 cents. So shop at Key Food for super savings on Swanson Hungry Man dinners and all your other favorites on special this week only at Key Food.
Now, you say this Acura Legend is the #1 car in owner satisfaction?
That's right, sir. 2 years in a row.
And you want to give me a deal on it?
That's right. It's our great year-end leasing deal.
But if this Legend is so popular, you should be raising the price, not lowering it.
Well, you see, then it might not be so popular.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
But I thought you said this Legend won Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year.
Oh, it did.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
Didn't you say this Legend was named one of Car and Driver's 10 Best?
Oh, yes. It was also named one of Road and Track's 10 Best.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch. You can drive away with a brand new Acura Legend.
I can drive away.
That's right.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch.
Where's the catch?
There's no catch. Just show me your driver's license.
Aha!
Aha!
There's the catch.
That's not a catch.
There's the catch.
That's not a catch.
There's the catch.
That is not a catch.
There's the catch.
Visit your Tri-State Acura dealer for a great leasing deal on a brand new Acura Legend. No catch. Acura. Cars for people who know better.
Paul Bunyan?
You want to step to your left a couple feet? Thanks.
I guess all this street shopping really works up an appetite, huh, big guy?
Righty-o. In fact, right after I level Wisconsin here, I'm going to drop by the International House of Pancakes for breakfast.
For pancakes?
For the whole menu.
Oh.
6 or 7 of those big International House of Pancakes 3-egg omelets, dozen waffles, blintzes, crepes. You know they got more variety at breakfast than Minnesota's got lakes.
And those pancakes?
Lots of them.
So you'd recommend the International House of Pancakes for good food and lots of it?
Well, let's just say it beats the egg off one of those wimpy little fast food biscuits.
Nicely put.
Yeah.
Say, babe, how about a thick, juicy steak and eggs?
Oh, you don't want to go teasing the babe.
All right.
Now get an all-American country ham and egg special, including orange juice, hash browns, and their famous buttermilk pancakes for just $3.99, served Monday through Friday at the IHOP nearest you. We're on WNBC. We have with us Judy DeAngelis, her young child. How old is the kid?
5.5 months.
What a happy...
She's already playing with my headphones. I'm in trouble here.
Why does the kid look like Imus?
But so do you.
Yeah. Mike Harrison from H&H Broadcasting who is here with kind of an overview of radio. He has worked in radio in many areas, in many ways. Kind of an expert on AM radio. Sandy Teller from the Long John Neville Show. Manny Gelt is here. We're going to tell you who he is in a moment. Charles McCord from the Imus in the Morning radio program.
Hi, Alan.
Charles, you are great.
Thank you very much.
Imus couldn't live without you.
Oh, I think he probably could, and rather successfully.
I doubt it. He needs you.
Is this... I mean, how do you feel today?
Numb.
Is this a weird day or what?
Yeah. Well, how do you feel? Because you're, unlike most of us, going on to the new station.
I'm a survivor, Alan. Have you found anything yet? You're crazy. No, but it's. Thank you very much for this opportunity to sit down in this chair one last time.
Yeah, this is the chair that you use on our show.
Yeah. And
we spray before I come in the afternoon.
and wisely so. But this has been my broadcast home for 17 years, as you know.
Yes.
And so it's a melancholy day. What are you doing, Alan?
Touching the knees of some of the men sitting next to me.
I don't understand that. But I just wanted to come in and say goodbye to you because you are truly, in a serious moment, in a serious vein, talented, gifted man. And if somebody doesn't snap you up immediately, I'm going to be disappointed. Your audience is going to be disappointed. This entire metropolitan region.
And the reason he says that is because I have to go live with Chuck and his wife. I have to go live with you if I have no place to go. So
you're a gifted talent or a talented gift or something. And I admire and respect your work very much.
Well, thank you, Charles. This is unlike you.
I know it is, and that's it. That's my 30 seconds, and thank you.
Well, Charles, after 17 years, you certainly deserve a few last moments on WNBC to do anything you want to do, because you are a 17-year part of this radio station.
I just want to tell the National Broadcasting Company and WNBC goodbye, and that's it.
Okay,
Farewell.
Charles McCord, ladies and gentlemen. Chuck McCord. Now I've had this representative who comes on with me sometimes called Manny Gelt, who is really... Bye, Charles. Thank you. Hi, Roz. Sit down for a second. Manny Gelt is... Who are you really, Manny?
I'm really me, Alan.
Manny Gelt is a figment of... You are the quintessential... We make you into this quintessential agent, right? This.
Well, if you remember how it developed, I'm really, truly your personal manager.
That's right.
And it developed at the other station.
Right.
One morning when I came to watch you. I had just started working with you, and I came to watch you, and you were about to go on the air in 5 minutes, and you were making fun of my youth and how I didn't fit the stereotype of the manager with the pinky ring and the cigar.
Right.
And
we decided to make you into the manager with the pinky ring and the cigar.
Came up with that voice. And
Darling, I love you.
How do we go on? And you said, well, we need a name for him. And you quickly said Manny Gelt, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And ordered license plates for my car, actually, that say Manny.
Right.
And that's how it was born.
Ladies and gentlemen, my career is in this man's hands.
It's true. It's true.
It's kind of scary, isn't it?
Well, no, actually, when I got to play Manny, I got to say all sorts of nasty things about you, which was kind of fun because I meant most of them. But actually, that's not true. Everything that I said, I really felt the opposite. We've been together a long time now, about 40 years, I think.
Yeah.
And you really are extraordinarily talented. I'm very proud to tell people that I manage you, and we've had a really extraordinary relationship.
I appreciate that, but these last moments are not a tribute to me. This is really a tribute to NBC.
Yeah,
and
but
to
I think
WNBC.
it's fair that part of it should be a tribute to you too. This is the end of your show, and there's a lot of wonderful people that have been here. I think a lot of people came by today who really told you what they felt about you, and a lot of them we had to bleep off, which I understood, which is certainly acceptable. But I promise your listeners that if it's up to me, and I think part of it is, and part of it to you, that you will be on the air again very, very soon.
Thank you very much.
People will be able to tune in and find you.
Thank you.
It may be Radio Free Guam, but I promise.
Thank you so much,
you will be on
and
the
thank
air.
the 4 of you who applauded. We'll come back in just a moment, minute after 5 o'clock at WNBC.
This is news from 66 WNBC, New York.
I'm Doug O'Brien. Here's what's happening at 5:01. Well. Robin Givens says she's dumping Mike Tyson. WNBC's Julia Hernandez reports on the knockout blow to the marriage of the heavyweight and the actress.
8 months to the day after they got married, Robin Givens is filing for divorce from Mike Tyson. That from her lawyer, Marvin Mitchelson. Mitchelson says Givens also wants a restraining order to keep Tyson away from his wife and will cite irreconcilable differences as the reason for the breakup. The brief marriage has been plagued by problems and gotten plenty of media attention, Tyson's volatile temper making headlines a number of times. The latest incident was Sunday when Givens and her mother, Ruth Roper, fled the couple's Bernardsville, New Jersey mansion because Iron Mike was reportedly throwing furniture through the windows. I'm Julia Hernandez, WNBC News.
There are a lot of politicos in New York that would love to give a knockout punch to Mayor Koch.
It looks like Mayor Koch may have a tough time come the 1989 mayoral election. Koch plans on seeking a fourth term, but Governor Cuomo says he may not support him in the Democratic primary. Cuomo told the Daily News it's Koch against Koch, and Koch is losing. The governor says he won't support anyone in the primary and might not back him in November either. Koch didn't disagree with the governor on his re-election chances. I'm my own worst enemy, the mayor said, and everybody knows that. Mitch Levy, WNBC News.
Now, if the mayor loses his job, it might be just about the only change in the unemployment figures around here.
The Labor Department reports unemployment in New York and New Jersey was virtually unchanged between August and September. The jobless rate in both states is 4%, but that's still running less than the national average of 5.4%. And last month, that improved a bit as more Americans found jobs. Catherine Smith, WNBC News.
Nationally, unemployment has fallen and payrolls have grown. The Labor Department says joblessness declined to 5.4%. At the same time, the 255,000 more jobs opened up. George Bush is telling voters that crime is the issue on which he is at most odds with Michael Dukakis. The vice president charges that his Democratic rival has an astounding lack of sensitivity to crime victims. Campaigning in Ohio today, Bush called the criminal justice system in Massachusetts completely out of whack. Dukakis says he'll continue to call Republican Dan Quayle unfit for the vice presidency, and he calls Bush weak for selecting the Indiana senator for the GOP ticket. The Democratic presidential candidate is also telling voters that they shouldn't entrust Supreme Court selections to a man who would pick Quayle as a running mate. The Dukakis campaign is echoing those themes in a pair of new television commercials. WNBC News Time, 5:04. This news sponsored by Cooper Tires, the Hank and Chubby Source at North Arlington Tire, 338 River Road in North Arlington, New Jersey.
A Cooper tire dealer is after the same quality and value you are.
Cooper quality goes a long, long way. Made with care and pride in the USA. For the best tire value you can get today. Cooper quality goes a long, long way.
Being in business for himself, a Cooper dealer's reputation depends on quality and value. That's what keeps his customers coming back for more. And that's why he carries precision-crafted Cooper tires. For quality tires that are right on the money, see your Cooper tire dealer today.
Cooper quality goes a long, long way. Call your Cooper tire dealer today.
See Art Kalin at Rally Tire and Auto Service, 616 Connecticut Avenue, Norwalk.
Quality tires.
Time now for the Jim Brady Ad Age Marketing Report.
For 24 consecutive years, Procter & Gamble spent more money buying advertising than any other American company. They bought more TV commercials, more newspaper and magazine pages, year in, year out. Now there's a new champ. The annual Ad Age survey says that Philip Morris is now the single biggest advertiser in America. Last year, they spent more than $1.5 billion convincing you and me to buy what Philip Morris makes. It's not just cigarettes. Philip Morris owns General Foods. It owns Miller Beer. Procter & Gamble fell to number 2, $1.4 billion, which is still very serious money unless you live at home and take your lunch to work. General Motors, the third biggest American advertiser. Then Sears Roebuck, RJR Nabisco. PepsiCo is number 6. Coke doesn't appear in the top 10, which surprised me. Jim Brady, Advertising Age.
At 5:06, WNBC wants you to know, if you must be on the road after drinking, go as a passenger. Give yourself and others a break. If you drive, don't drink. And if you drink, don't drive. From the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network, here's Judy DeAngelis.
Thank you, Doug. Outbound Holland Tunnel and Lincoln Tunnel, 20-minute delay. Inbound at the Lincoln, a 20-minute tie-up, 5-minute wait. Inbound Holland, GWB, 30-minute backup both ways.
WNBC Sports Game 3 of the National League playoffs tonight at Shea. Ron Darling versus John Tudor in the NHL. The Islanders play in Edmonton. WNBC weather tonight, cloudy and cool, a low in the low 40s. Mostly cloudy and chilly tomorrow. 40% chance of light rain, a high in the low 50s. On Sunday, partly cloudy and cool. Currently, it's 52 degrees. And to Al Angeloro, John Bohannon, Danielle Campbell, Karen Carson, Frank Cipolla, Lillian Colon, Judy DeAngelis, Tony DeHaro, Jane Dornacker, Jim Meyer, Pat Farnack, Donna Fiducia, Roz Frank, Jane Gennaro, Ann Grossi, Debbie Gross, Sam Hall, Mike Hyde, Julia Hernandez, Meredith Hollis, Mitch Levy, Shelley Lewis, Cameron Ledestri, Charles McCord, Bernard McGurk, Bill Maher, Denise Marzano, Mike Moss, Elena Nakather, Jack O'Rourke, Claudia Pauley, Liz Pressman, Terry Raskin, Larry Scott, Neil Seavey, Barry Sheffield, Catherine Smith, Catherine Stulla, Bill Toohey, Ken Voigt, and Alan Walden, and all the others I've never met who participated in WNBC News and Public Affairs since 1922, the sound that makes this radio station more important than any other. And so, for the very last time, that's what's happening. I'm Doug O'Brien, WNBC, New York.
WNBC remembers 66 years of New York's most memorable radio.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
WNBC has been known in recent years as the station that brought contemporary, irreverent personalities to New York radio. This is not a new phenomena, however. As WEAF in the 1930s, we broadcast America's brightest stars from coast to coast on NBC.
Sure is dark tonight. No moon. Oh well. Yada-dee-da-dum, da-dee-da-dum, da-dum, dum-dee-da-da-dum.
Hey, Bud.
Huh?
You got a match?
Yes, I have one right here.
Don't make a move. This is a stick-up.
Mister, put down that gun.
Shut up. I said this is a stick-up. Now, come on. Your money or your life. Look, Bud. I said your money or your life. I'm thinking it over.
One of the best-loved entertainers of the 30s was a real dummy.
Hello, Mr. Fields.
Hello, blood poison. You know, Charlie really loves you, Mr. Fields.
Yes, I do. But I don't think Mr. Fields loves me.
Now, listen, that's gone far enough. I've been a gentleman up to now.
Why, what's the matter, Bill?
Well, he's not going to tell me I don't love him. I'll break every knot in his body.
The programs of this era marked the zenith of radio's golden years. But for WEAF, they were only part of a 66-year legacy that would see the station continue to lead the broadcast media through an ongoing evolution towards excellence.
WNBC 66 WNBC.
This is it, huh? Last half hour ever for WNBC. I'm Alan Colmes, and we're going to do our last commercial break ever on this radio station. Remember the first one back in 1926? Sure you do. This is going to be our last commercial break, and this will be the last live commercial ever read.
And who's the
on
lucky?
WNBC.
Who's the lucky recipient?
You, Judy. You want to do it?
No. I mean, who's the lucky?
Sealy Dial-A mattress. Yeah.
Sleep on it.
Now here's the deal. You call them up, and they deliver a mattress to wherever you are within 2 hours.
Even Shea Stadium?
Yeah, that concrete can get kind of tough, and I hope Imus. Well, never mind. Imus and Pete Franklin will be out at Shea Stadium, and they will be taking things.
Wait a minute. He couldn't leave. He
Bruce,
couldn't leave. I knew
Bruce,
it.
what happened?
I went downstairs and I started crying a little bit. I said, I can't leave him alone. I had to come back. But look at what it's doing here.
Can you get a cab, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. Can you call me a cab, Alan, please? If anybody's listening in a taxi, please.
Cousin Brucey, it's very hard to pry him toward a microphone. He's hard to drag out of his shell. I'm so glad that we could do this today. This is the very last live commercial ever on WNBC. And it's for Sealy Dial-A mattress. Isn't it interesting to talk about going to sleep? There's symmetry in the universe. They've slashed their prices on an incredible selection of Sealy bedding. You can save up to 60% off department store regular prices. They're one of the largest selections of Sealy mattresses and box springs in New York and New Jersey, and they specialize in service. Just call them anytime Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Place your order. Within 2 hours, you'll have a Sealy delivered to your home. Pay the driver after you've approved the mattress, and if for any reason you're not satisfied, the driver will take the mattress back. And for a limited time, when you buy any Sealy Posturepedic set,
We're talking real limited
yeah,
here, okay?
mention WNBC limited, okay?
How much longer can you mention WNBC?
And you'll get a luxurious set of Canon sheets and pillowcases, a $60 value, absolutely free.
Mm-hmm.
Your new Sealy bedding is just a phone call away. So for super service and extraordinary savings on Super Sealy bedding from the 212, 201, or 516 area, just dial mattress, M-A-T-T-R-E-S, which is not how you spell it.
No, that's right.
There's an extra S. Leave off the last S.
For what?
For the
So long.
for Emmis. 512 at WNBC.
Alan Colmes. Boy, look at the time. Look, we can do this grocery shopping fast if you help me.
I'll get the TV Guide
I'll
magazine.
get the produce and meat, and you pick up soup and coffee.
I'll get the
and...
TV Guide magazine.
Well, get the TV Guide later.
I can't enjoy TV without TV Guide.
Well, I know,
It's
but
not
we're
just
in a-
listings, it's tons of fascinating stuff on television.
Then I'll get cat food, and you get
Personalities behind the scenes, very well written,
Are you
too,
going
I
to help
think.
me, please, with the shopping or what?
Okay.
Thank you. Now, what are you going to get?
I'll get the TV Guide magazine.
you're not.
You
TV
said
Guide
that.
magazine. Fun to read, tough to put down. The best thing on television.
Some car warranties protect the powertrain beyond the first year. That's fine if you're buying only a powertrain. But GM is the only American manufacturer to protect your powertrain and all the other parts in all our 89 cars and light trucks for 3 years or 50,000 miles. Parts, labor, and towing. Parts like air conditioning, power windows, and door locks. You name it. Except tires, which are covered by their maker. A $100 deductible per visit applies after the first year or 12,000 miles. But you're covered inside and out, top to bottom, bumper to bumper. In fact, we call it the GM Bumper to Bumper Plus warranty. See your Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, or GMC truck dealer for terms of the Bumper to Bumper Plus limited warranty. Longer protection for more of your car or truck, only from GM.
Long Island Savings Bank. We're helping people like you from generation to generation. Bankers, neighbors, and friends.
Imagine your dream house. You know, the one with the fireplace, the chef's kitchen, the deck, the pool. Imagine having your own business or putting your kids through school without worrying about tuition. Imagine a home at the shore or in the mountains. With a low-rate Equity Power loan from Long Island Savings Bank, you can get the money for just about anything. Borrow up to $300,000, depending on the equity you have in your home. You're protected by annual caps and a lifetime ceiling. What's more, you can choose a no-income check option. All or part of your interest may be tax-deductible. Ask your tax advisor. For more information on Long Island Savings Equity Power, call 1-800-THE-LISB.
Things are getting a little tight here at Grossi Cadillac and Oldsmobile. We have too many 88 Oldsmobiles and Cadillacs, and the 89s are pouring in. So if we don't move a lot of cars in a hurry, we won't have the room to breathe. That's why Grossi is offering the most dramatic discounts in their 16-year history. Right now, you can breathe a whole lot easier at Grossi, with savings up to $4,000 on leftover 88 Oldsmobiles and up to $5,000 on leftover 88 Cadillacs. So if things have been a little tight for you, hurry to Grossi, the largest Cadillac and Oldsmobile dealer from Fairfield County to Manhattan. You'll breathe easier with our most dramatic discounts of the year on every remaining 1988 model, plus special introductory savings on every new 1989 model now on display. Remember, for the lowest bottom line price, there's only one man to see. Grossi Cadillac and Oldsmobile in Greenwich, 53 West Putnam Avenue, off exit 3 on the Connecticut Turnpike.
Okay, everybody who's perfect can turn off their radios for the next 60 seconds. All right, now for the rest of us. You should know about Channel's unconditional return policy, because if you're one of those people who's prone to buy the wrong size or apt to pick the wrong color, or maybe you find you're just not happy with something when you get it home, Channel Home Centers will do whatever it takes to make it right. That means doing everything from exchanging the item to giving you a full refund. And it applies to everything Channel sells, like door file shelf grippers. Now, they make putting up shelving easy because they just screw onto the wall and the shelf slips into the gripper. They come in white, almond, or walnut, and this week the 2-foot length shelf grippers are just $8.99 each. Now, remember, if for any reason you're not satisfied, just bring it back. Hey, nobody's perfect, so it's a good thing Channel's unconditional return policy is. Channel Home Centers. There's no better place, any place.
Visit most luxury automobile dealerships, and you're likely to hear a lot of talk about things like bloodlines and image and noble traditions. But visit an Acura dealership, and you'll hear about a tradition we consider to be more meaningful, a tradition of satisfaction. For the second year in a row, Acura has been named #1 in customer satisfaction by the J.D. Power & Associates CSI survey, which measures customer satisfaction with product quality and dealer service. Not #1 for luxury cars or imports, #1 among all automakers, period. Again, which means that people aren't only impressed with the image surrounding Acura, they're impressed with the cars themselves. Which brings up an important point. When you're shopping for cars and listening to the people who sell them, don't forget to listen to the people who drive them. Acura. Precision crafted performance.
When Sears brings you a value like this, we call it a great item. Imagine a 19-inch cable-ready color TV with on-screen readout of time and channel, 17-key remote control, precise quartz tuning, and more. Now imagine all that at a price like this, just $258. You save $91. Right now, Sears can bring you a TV with all that for $258, only through Saturday. Look for Sears' Great Item stamp of approval, now at Sears.
You know, for the next 12 minutes, we're commercial free. WNBC. And with us, Judy DeAngelis, of course, Mike Harrison from H&H Broadcasting, a seminal influence in progressive rock radio, coined the term AOR. He went on to work with Billboard and one of the original editors of Radio and Records, with a kind of an overview here this afternoon. Sandy Teller from the Long John Nebel Show. Rory Rosegarten is here. We have Jane Gennaro is with us. Jane Gennaro, ladies and gentlemen. But let me before we talk to you, Jane, let's go to the telephone and say hello to Gabe Pressman. Hi, Gabe.
Hey, hi. How are you, Alan?
How are you? Nice to have you with us today.
Well, it's a mixed. I have mixed feelings about being with you. I feel sad.
We all do, and it is mixed feelings, and I'm sure you have some special memories about WNBC.
Yes, I remember the first day I came aboard, which was November 8th, 1954, and how I ran around town with a little tape recorder, one of the earliest portable tape recorders that worked by muscle power. You had to wind it.
We still use those here, you know. Do you remember the first story you covered?
No, but I think it probably was a fire. Because in the early days, the network news department didn't know what to do with me, and I would have to sort of find out what was happening, and then run out and get it. I remember one day there was a bulletin that came over the wires, and they didn't pay any attention to it because they weren't used to having a local reporter, a reporter who actually covered news in New York. And I came in and I looked at this thing, and I said, "My God, how long have you had this?" And the lead was Serge Rubinstein, international financier, has been found strangled to death in his Fifth Avenue townhouse.
Uh-huh.
And the guy on the desk, who wasn't too hip about reporters, said, "Well, he's dead, ain't he? What can we do with it?" It was early. It was early on, and a lot of it was rip and read and relying on newspapers and rewrites of newspapers and wire services rather than putting our own shoe leather on the street.
Boy, Gabe, I can hear in your voice the sentiment we're all feeling here in the studio right now about it's so sad that NBC has decided to dismantle actually GE made the decision to dismantle the radio empire.
Yeah, well, I think those were important years when Bill Cullen had Pulse on WNBC, and when we really were the pioneers at WNBC in covering on-the-spot news in New York. It really was a new beginning. It's hard to imagine a time when there wasn't competition among radio and television stations in New York, but it was only 34 years ago, that existed, that we didn't have many reporters. In fact, the fellow who hired me, when I said someday there will be competition, he said, "Oh, get that out of your head. This is show business. You're just a gimmick." and actually, we have seen a growth of competition, and lamentably, we're seeing the end of a station that did stand for news in the earliest days in terms of that tradition.
Gabe, you are just about the best reporter in New York, and I'm delighted to share these last moments with you. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
It's a pleasure being with you.
Thank you. Gabe Pressman, ladies and gentlemen. Cousin Brucey came back. He couldn't take it. He couldn't get a cab or something.
You know why I came back.
I know why you came back.
Come on, you know why, and everyone listening knows why I came back.
Jane Gennaro is here. Jane, you and I did traffic. You did traffic, and I watched. I like watching you, Jane.
You like the way I said Kosciuszko.
Try to get near a microphone, Jane. You know, that's why you haven't been heard lately. Here you go.
No, let
Thank
Jane
you, Bruce.
come close to me, Janie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Lean on my shoulder, Jane.
I'd like to say Kosciuszko just one more time, since I never... And Gowanus. May I say, please,
You certainly
gridlock and
can.
rubbernecking with... Rubbernecking delays.
Jane and her husband use these words regularly in their personal relationship. And
Stretching
and pointing it.
Judy, how are you feeling right now?
Numb, I think.
Yeah.
I just, well, we're almost there. But anyway, listen, we shouldn't be sad. We should be happy. I don't know why the hell we should be happy, but we should be happy.
Well,
but
Mike,
I just want to say one thing. I don't care what anybody says. It is WNBC, but you're a hell of a person, and thank you for letting me have such a good time with you.
Thank you very much. You're the best. Thank you. Let me say a few words to Peg Kelly, our Vice President General Manager.
Yeah.
Peg Kelly, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you said you were going to say a few words to me, Alan. I said to you I wasn't going to say a few words.
This is no time to clam up, Peg. It's been a delight working for you. You are a wonderful lady, and you've given me the creative freedom that any broadcaster dreams about.
Oh, well, thanks very much. It was easy to do it for you, Alan. You're great. And this whole group is great, and I don't think there's one more person who could fit into this room, but everybody who's here belongs here, and the people out there standing by the glass belong here too. And, well, we're celebrating in a way, as Judy says.
Thank you, Peg. And Peg is the last Vice President, General Manager of WNBC, and I'm glad to have shared a few moments with you here on the air this afternoon. Mike Harrison, what's going to happen to AM radio?
Well, I think that this will be marked as a turning point, and I think it's going to make its way right back to where it belongs with exciting programming. I think this is an exciting program, and look at the lights.
We do this every day, by the way.
Look at the lights. Look at the lights on the phone. I mean, there are a lot of people out there listening to AM radio right now.
By the way, this is all just a publicity stunt. Laurie Gadis put this whole thing together.
How about Alan? How about a tribute to them, to all those people flashing on the phones and all the people listening all over the metropolitan area who are WNBC listeners?
That's a new listener, just born a moment ago.
There's the ghost of Radio Future, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to some of our phone calls, which we have neglected, not because we don't want to talk to you, because you are just about the most important part of any broadcast, especially the ones I do, but because we also wanted to pay homage to the former personalities and the present personalities here at
Give somebody
WNBC.
a chance to be the last caller.
I wonder who the last caller is going to be.
What a great honor.
Ollie North, I hope.
Just pick it at random.
WNBC, hello.
Yes, hold on just a second, Bruce, quick.
No, don't call me and put me on hold.
How long can you hold on?
No, that's not acceptable behavior. WNBC, hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Alan?
Yes, hi.
Hi, I'm going to miss you, Alan.
Well, I'm going to miss you.
I'm telling you, I can't believe it. I drive the truck every day up in Mount Vernon, and I gotta, I'm gonna be lost without you.
Oh, you'll find a life.
Hey, that's right. We all will be.
You'll get a life for yourself, sir.
We ain't got them FM radios.
That's a glowing tribute to this program. Thank you. Alan, I love your show. I don't have FM. Thank you very much.
That's a go out.
I'm gonna miss you, bud.
Thank you very much. WNBC.
Yeah, hi. This is Eric.
Hi, Eric.
How you doing? I hope you guys bust a nut tonight and enjoy yourselves.
Beautifully said.
I hope so.
Thank you very much.
Harvard B School listeners, everyone.
In Long John's days, Sandy, that language was not used on the air, was it?
No. What was the language?
Language.
I must say that I know that the GE is relocating to the Finger Lakes, but that's another story.
WNBC.
Hello, Alan.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I just want to wish you the best, and I hope you can make something of yourself in the future.
Well, that's awfully kind of you. Sound like my mother.
Great, you really have.
Thank you. WNBC.
Alan.
Yes.
How you doing?
Hi.
I've been listening for the past 6 years now.
I can tell. 6 years they've been listening to you.
Yeah, well, I just got out of high school, and I loved your show.
Thank you.
No show that ever could compare to it. I'd like to say farewell. I wish you the best. Judy, she brought me laughter. I loved her on Soupy Sales. I just don't know what to say. I just wish you all the best and good luck. I'm going to miss you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Now,
you.
do we have to go out of delay before? Yes, we do. We'll do that in just a couple of minutes. Let me take a few. Let's see who the last caller is going to be. WNBC.
Hi, my name is Jerry, and I've listened to NBC ever since I was about 12 years old. And from listening to NBC, I've grown to really appreciate the air personalities and the station itself. So much of an effect did it have on me that I went into broadcasting myself to a small degree. And radio and I have gone in different ways, but I just want to take my hat off to you personally and NBC.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. WNBC.
Hi, Alan.
Hi.
Just like to say NBC, goodbye. There'll never be another one like you.
That's right.
Thank you very much. WNBC.
66 years and no blacks or Puerto Ricans at the final gathering. You suck, Al.
Thank you very much. It's good to know. It's good to know that we haven't lost it, ladies and gentlemen. This wouldn't be a regular Alan Colmes show without a call like that.
Your accountant.
WNBC.
Hi, Alan.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm one of your recent listeners, and I'm really sorry to see the station go.
I want to ask Judy something.
Go ahead.
Judy, are you going to be able
Judy,
to...
pull yourself together.
Come on, babe.
Yeah, go ahead. We're running out of time here.
Judy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious if you're going to have a position at any other radio station.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be horizontal.
Okay, I hope everything will work out.
I bet a woman can cry and crack jokes at the same time. It's unbelievable. Thank you. WNBC.
Alan, I'm sitting here in my NBC T-shirt on my Oriental rug that I won on your show, and I wanted to say I love you and goodbye.
Well, because you are a winner of WNBC. You didn't win WNBC. No one did. But you're going to be our last call. You are our last phone call on WNBC.
What's her name?
What is your name?
Get her name.
What is your name? Pardon me?
My name is Caroline.
Caroline who?
And I won tickets to Caroline's also.
Okay. Thank you, Caroline.
Bye.
Thank you. Let me just say a few final words, and we're all going to count down to the end of NBC. WNBC Radio, that is. You know, when I first broadcast on this station, it was a realization of a lifelong dream. But I never imagined during my first moments on WNBC that the last seconds I would have on the station would be the last seconds anybody would have. It's a historic moment that belongs not just to me, but also to every broadcaster who ever graced the microphones, every worker at WNBC who made this station great, and to each listener who's supported us through the years. I'm Alan Colmes. Thank you. God bless you. And for the last time, this is 66 WNBC, New York. Let's do the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You heard the countdown. It's over.
66 WFAN, New York. Sports Radio 66 WFAN, New York.
And there came to pass a great change on the landscape, and the numbers 1050 shone, then faded into time, and there grew in their place the numbers 660. Amos saw and said, "It is good." Then there also grew at 660 the letters WFAN. Amos saw and said, "It is good." A courier appeared, Jeff by name, and beckoned Imus to Amos. And Amos saw and saith, "We'll cross our fingers." And the courier brought forth a candle to illuminate the way, and proffered it to Imus. Imus saw and said,
"No, you idiot! I said a Bud Light."
I don't care if it rains or freezes, as long as I got my plastic Jesus lying on the dashboard of my car. I can go 100 miles an hour, as long as I got the almighty power. Put up there by my pair of fuzzy dice.
Say hallelujah! Oh, yeah! Say hallelujah! Hi, fans! It's Dr. Billy Saul Harkis, late of WNBC, joining you here this evening to announce the conversion has taken place. I'm a Jew. That's right. The right Rabbi Saul Harkis. Ain't no moss growing under these feet. The minute I heard the name of this outfit we'd be working for was Amos, the Hebrew word for truth, I said, throw me one of them Yamahas, pass me a lineup sheet, and call me Izzy. This frequency juggling's made me dizzy. Praise the wee one spinning in his cradle with his eyes bugging out saying, I'll air condition the first mother who calls up wanting to know, what about the Rangers' left wing? Praise God. Yes, dearly beloved, the finest broadcast company the world has ever known now controls our destiny. And so, shalom oeve, I now bestow my blessing on this new enterprise. Because 17 years we worked for those other momses slaving, and what do we have to show for it? Schnee Bupkes. And so we go from the home of the hits to the home of the hits runs and airs. It sucks, but what are you gonna do? What any sports fan or sports figure's gonna do? Scratch your ass and pick your crotch. This all sports format's a damn death watch. But we're trading